Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Social Pillar. We're totally ready. Don't mind my bookmarks there. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a cozy episode of the Social Pillar. My name is Jared, also known as the GM Chef, and keen to be a player in a wonderful game that we may have mentioned once, twice. I think we even did a whole episode on creating characters. We're playing Blades in the Dark this evening. Dean Dog is ready and excited, if you can hear them in the background. And yeah, we've been putting this off for just the right occasion, and this is it. We are, unfortunately, this might be our last episode of the year as well, so stick around for a bit of an extended cozy. But no more delay. Let's get straight into it. Ian, joining me as always. How are you, sir?
I am very well. Hello, everyone out there. Ian Zammit here from Roleplay Experience, changing the world one table at a time through role-playing games. Very happy to be here. We have a guest tonight, but we're going to introduce her in just a second. She's going to be leading through some stuff with us. But one of our forever GMs, our third in the party here, Thea.
That's me. Hello, I am OMGM, Dilettante Dabbler, storyteller. I do some live play stuff, but mostly I just lurk around, which is incredibly suitable for tonight's theme, although I am not the lurker, but we will get into more of that later. As always, I'm joined by Dean Dog, who you've already heard has opinions. He has feelings, and he's working through them in a very healthy and constructive manner. So we're going to play a game. I'm very excited. But before we start playing games and introducing guests who are wonderful people, I nearly said wonderful creatures. Wonderful creatures. Ian, do you want to do a thing?
I think I do. Actually, before we get into tonight, our guest to introduce and our topic, I'd like to acknowledge that we're coming to you from Aboriginal land here in Australia. I'm actually coming to you from Darug land, and we would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands that we are streaming from. Bringing this to you, we'd like to pay our respects to elders past and present, and extend those respects to any First Nations people who are watching today. We have to continue that brand of storytelling and rich oral tradition to years to come. So on that note, this is actually a very good example tonight of introducing a role-playing game. This is one that we have been looking forward to for a long time, and I could not think of anyone better to do this as well than the amazing Elle, who I've worked with at Penrith Library recently. Hello, Elle. How are you tonight?
Hello. I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. Tell us a bit about yourself. What are you looking forward to tonight in particular?
What's to tell? I've restarted my career in GMing somewhat recently, and been really reigniting my love of Blades in the Dark and the story, and I'm really excited to share it with you. It is an incredible world, so much fun background, so really dark, it's really gritty, and you're gonna love it. Hopefully.
I love the dark and gritty, and you've got a shirt to reflect it. But I've got to say, your background is so light and cheerful. I love that right now. Actually,
I'm at my mum's house, which is my mum's house is very light and airy and joyful. So
it's lovely. Well,
it's very opposite to the theme. So.
That's okay. We're going to have a little bit of light in that darkness that's going to be happening soon. So just want to check in this as well with you. What is it about Blades in the Dark? Can you give us a little description about what is this game for all those people out there who may have heard of role-playing games and just think of Dungeons and Dragons high fantasy straight away? What is Blades in the Dark to you?
Blades in the Dark, it's a very, very fast-paced role-playing game, and it kind of flips Dungeons and Dragons on its head in the way that it's played. Instead of doing all the planning and everything ahead of going and doing your adventure, you're thrown straight into the adventure and you just make it up on the spot. Very fiction-focused. If you'd like, I can do a bit of an intro for the world, if you'd like to.
Yeah.
I think we should dive into the world.
Yeah. Bring it on.
Well, welcome. We're joining Blades in the Dark, a place where darkness reigns, danger lurks around every corner. The world was once full of light and magic and peace. but that was shattered by a huge cataclysm, which was a major apocalyptic event that tore open the gates of death and destroyed the sun, and so it's now in fractured little bits of embers, and it left the world in a completely desolate wasteland where demons and ghosts are just roaming the land. There's no peaceful afterlife. When you die, you become a ghost and you stick around and ruin everyone else's lives.
Joy.
We are set in the Shattered Isles. They're a chain of islands that lay in perpetual darkness. The whole world is in darkness, like I mentioned. The sun is gone. The fractured sun sort of hangs in a sky that is completely starless. And it really offers no more than sort of a dim twilight level of brightness at the peak of day. So aside from that, it's complete pitch black. And all of our major cities are completely surrounded by crackling electrical barriers called the Ghost Fields. They keep the horrors of the Deathlands at bay, and beyond those barriers is the Cursed Wasteland, where only the most dangerous of creatures and all forgotten souls and demons and horrifying monstrosities live. Between all the islands, we've got the inky Black Void Sea. In its depths teem with these colossal creatures called leviathans. They're these huge demonic beasts who have electroplasmic blood that is actually used to power all of the cities. Powering the ghost barriers. It powers a lot of technology. It can also be refined into narcotics and explosives and lots of other really fantastic uses.
Multi-purpose. Fantastic.
Multi-purpose demon blood.
Perfect. I love it.
But it's a dangerous journey to go out and hunt leviathans. So only the most brave would set out on these Titanic-sized metal ships to brave the seas and hunt them down. Then we've got rail networks powered by steam and haunted by the ghosts of the dead that sort of snake their way through our Deathlands. They move all cargo and passengers for anyone who's brave enough to make that journey, basically. And then we find ourselves in the heart of this world in Duskwall, or the Dusk, depending on what you want to go with, which is this big industrial metropolis. And think of like Industrial Revolution London mixed with Prague. We've got cobbled roads with flickering electric lights and this suffocating haze of smog and smoke. And it's thick with burning coal and industry. There's machines, there's gigantic industrial fields. The streets are narrow, just twisting webs with stone and metal. And you've got bridges and canals that sort of crisscross their way through the city. And they separate the crammed, tiny neighborhoods for the more destitute and poor from the looming factories that take up so much space and all of the wealthy elite estates that like to sit on their high little fancy manors. And like all of the cities in the Isles, crime runs rampant.
Or it runs damp as well.
Yes, it's damp and dark and dim and horrible.
It's damp and Duskwall.
No matter what, there's always going to be some crime going on. Even the nicest of pit folk they're doing something shady. We've got gangs and institutions all battling to control some dwindling turf that's within this ghost barrier. And all the resources are being picked over by scoundrels, thieves, the poor, anyone who can try and make their way to the top to be able to get in a better position. Everyone's just driven by desperation, basically. And that's where you all fit in.
Cheery.
We're fitting into our fantastic, spooky little location.
So it is pretty spooky and it's pretty gritty.
Yes,
and
spooky.
Well,
where death is not the end. If your character dies, you can become a vampire. You can become a hull, which is like a soulless beast. There
Cool.
Lots of options here, and death is a very real possibility in this game. It's not like D&D where you kind of try and shy away from it. You're gonna get hurt. You might die, and that's one of the fun of the game.
Okay,
nice.
great.
I think maybe just prefacing by saying trauma and death and suffering and pain
Yes.
and very adult themes will be present in tonight's episode. So please do err with the side of caution. We of course have the stream set as an adult only stream, but I think Ellie, you said you're running it at an MA 15 plus sort of rating. We're not going gratuitous violence, sexual themes. There will be drug use and things like that, but we've all put in our little trigger warnings and stay away, do nots, our veils and what is it, veils and lines.
Veils and chat
lines you
and
don't cross, and
something.
veils are ones that
Anyway,
you just cross.
yeah.
Anyway,
So we're
but
going to
yeah,
have horror.
We got them.
Themes.
it's a horror game.
Yeah.
Please be okay with that. Alrighty.
And if not, that's okay as well. We will be back another week.
We'll do other cozy things.
Yeah, we'll do cozy things that are actually cozy, not terrifying.
I know. I wanted to do cozy question mark as a stream title.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
That's it. On that
I'm
note,
sure
actually,
the
for those-
dingiest criminal bars are cozy, you know.
And hey, cozy is in the home of where you think it's cozy.
Yeah, for sure. Where you're comfortable.
Yeah, where you're
That's it.
comfortable, and maybe that's where we're comfortable.
Chat, we hope you are comfortable out there. And on that note, there is actually a potential for involving the chat too. Will there be love?
I mean,
Many kinds, I'm sure.
it depends how you
Some
define
very
love.
specific, I'm sure. Yes. But there's a good point about the chat, because I believe there is a mechanic we're going to use for you guys out there in the chat to get involved in. Elle, can you explain what is this exactly?
Yeah, so completely summing up the theme of the game, there's a mechanic called Devil's Bargains. So you're essentially making a deal with the devil, and it can be something that I might come up with and suggest. It can be something that you as players can come up with and suggest, or what we'd really love to hear is from chat to see what any of you are all coming up and suggesting. If if someone wants to request a devil's bargain and sort of wait for something to come up, or if you can think of one for each other, or even if someone has an idea of something, just pop it in chat and I'm sure someone will have a look at it and we can
we'll keep an eye on that for you.
So trigger is if we call out for a devil's bargain, that's a really good time for chat to jump in. So
yes. Yeah. So essentially it's you're using the devil's bargain to get an extra dice, get some sort of advantage in some way on something you're trying to do, but it is going to cause a bad effect for yourself. So you might take some damage, you might ruin a reputation, you might ruin a relationship, you might tick a clock, which is another mechanic we'll get into later. So it's be creative with it. If it's, you know, a bit of role-playing stuff might come up. You know,
good times.
Oh, bring it on. I don't know what's going to come, but we're all here to, because it's a one shot, so we're going to really go into it and just try stuff. So
yeah.
We're not going to be afraid to use all of our resources. We're going to get into it and just have fun.
I think so. Well, where should we start? What's the first thing we should do?
Well, we should start by mentioning that you'd all come across the land of Duskfall. Whatever you've been doing, you all managed to happen across a poster from the Hive. They're one of the higher tier crews in Duskfall. I'll even pop that onto
my thing. Look at me taking notes.
Should be available.
Almost as if I remember how to play.
Roll20 now. Should be, hopefully. If that wants to work.
Yes, the Hive wants you.
The Hive wants you.
Beautiful.
You know that there's a bit of something. Duskfall isn't really settled at the moment. There are some things going on in the background that, I mean, there's some power struggles happening around, and you're kind of, whatever reason that each of your characters have decided, you are kind of seeking out some more criminal opportunities, and you know that the Hive is a major player in this city, and for reasons we'll probably get into in a second, you have decided that you want to seek out the Hive and maybe pick up a bit of work for those questionable morals. So you're going to be heading to Night Market, to the Honeypot Tavern, which is a dingy little tavern set in these crammed streets where there's markets, as the name suggests. Lots of markets
But it
around.
sounds so friendly. Honeypot.
It sounds
Honeypot Tavern.
friendly.
I'm sure we're not playing
Yeah.
Honey Heist. Am I a bear?
Ah, be sweet. I love it.
Well, all bees have stingers, so we're gonna head to the Honeypot Tavern. We've got the within Night Market. That's the kind of illicit dealing, smuggling hub of the city, basically. So we've got bustling markets and vendors, but they're all kind of, they might have some fruit at the front, but they're like, hey, you want to see what's out the back? You just got to use the right password. So that's where we've made our way out to. So if you're all entering this Honeypot Tavern, you'll see some patrons just sort of minding their own business in the corners. You've got the bar on the right as you're entering, and you can see that towards the back there's a door, and there's quite a large man standing at the door with his arms crossed, and you can see glinting in the light the little honeybee pin that's on his lapel. So you know that he is a member of the hive. And I'd love to see how you all approach this situation and introduce your characters as you go in. What are you all doing? How are you all approaching this?
You'd like to go first?
Do we have a face?
I mean, it's not
Out of
me.
context, that was weird. I would. I guess.
I mean, do we have a
maybe-
face just randomly? Because I possibly have one of those.
Do we have face?
I
I mean,
I think I know what you mean.
yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. That role. Yeah, striding in, a sort of lean, slender, younger-looking chap. You see these sort of cold grey piercing eyes, sort of like the ocean on an overcast day. A little bit of a 1,000-yard stare, even for someone as young as he is. Scarred, that's sort of scarred features that he is trying to cover up with patchy facial hair that's still yet to fully grow in. But this very analyzing look scans over the bar. I am playing Keenan Penagillan. My alias is Kit. Grew up into this sort of criminal life with my family being shipwreckers, working on sort of raiding or raiding lighthouses and leading ships astray in the night to break their bows on shore, and then cleaning up whatever washed ashore the next day, as well as other sort of criminal industry. And I'm playing the playbook, the archetype, my class as those would understand it. I'm playing a hound, so a ranger-esque sort of dude. Yeah, I guess I'd walk in, just kind of scope out the bar, see these patrons, and leading in behind me are my fellow companions.
Actually, it's funny you say that,
Actually.
because there's this really lean-looking lad actually who's outside. He's been in the night market because it's where he works. He's one of the shoppers there. He's one of the fronts for one of the very illicit things that are going on. He's only about 19, but he's seen a lot. At least he believes he has. And he actually works here on the day job, making sure we can get trade across with us. On the quiet, we're getting things smuggled underneath. And so he is this kind of spry-looking, lean dude, kind of watching things all the time. Doesn't try to get involved too often, but now and then will try to get a score, and is very excited by the idea of big scores, particularly things to do with things outside of Duskfall, anything to do with the creepy, bizarre, like magic or ghosts or demons or whatever. And he's managed to hook up with these two. And in particular, he's been watching out for them. Being young, he doesn't want to be in there too excited too much, just get into the tavern first. So he's been waiting for one of the others to come along first. And then he sees the big hulking figure of his friend over there, Keenan. He's like, oh, yeah, all right, I can go in now. Just sidles on him, and he's like, hey, Kit, how you doing? Glad you can make it.
Yeah, not bad there, mate. Not bad. I heard there's work to be had around here.
Yeah, I heard something about a hive. Where's our friend? Is she here?
I don't know. Is she buzzing around?
as you sort of look around, you find the friend who, whenever you go out, just wanders around, and you are consistently asking most of the time, "Where's Tones? Has anyone?" Oh, there. Okay. Just checks in every now and then. So Tones did actually come here with you, um, but just kept walking through the door and is just sort of looking at. Well, she's actually just talking to random people who are looking remarkably uncomfortable because she's basically talking at them and really doesn't seem to be listening too much. And it's like, oh, I, I haven't been here before. Oh, it's so nice here. Hey, what are you drinking? Can I have a sip? Takes it, has a sip. Thanks. That's awful. Wanders off. Tones is a very gaunt looking, androgynous, probably human looking, very kind of angular face.
In the right light.
Imagine in the right, yeah, in the right way. Imagine kind of like your boy band, floppy hair, but I'm not doing that tonight because it's too hot. And it's just sort of got an air of just disquieting. It's they make people feel uncomfortable a lot of the time. Tone's full name, Erendor Shade, is a whisper. So in this wonderful world of Duskville, Tones is more connected to the occult than perhaps to the real world. It's a bit of a wonder how Tones has managed to survive to whatever age they happen to be, because they just don't seem to pay attention or really connect properly with the world when she's around. She's she's from the Dagger Isles, and from a family of shippers and merchants. They, it's very respectable family that are involved in trade, whatever that may be. And up to a certain point, just sort of late adolescence, Tones was a shipping agent, very in touch with comings and goings, very across the trade. And then one day she just decided to follow the music that she's been hearing in her head, try and track down the whispers. And as the years have gone on, she's become more and more convinced that there is something there, something meaningful, something that is being hidden, and she is going to find out. But most of the time, she just wants to talk to people. That's Tones.
And all the patrons are just kind of moving away, seats just like going to a
Oblivious.
different
She's
table.
yes, drifts around, puts a hand on someone's shoulder, like uncomfortably. Wow,
Cool
the
out,
fabric of your shirt. It's
Hey, Tones,
Man.
Tones.
Huh?
Over here, over here.
okay.
We'll
Just
get a
trails a
drink for you.
hand. She trails a hand down this poor stranger's arm. Hi. Oh my gosh, what'd you get me? Thank you.
Just got to order. I think we've got a table over here. Or actually, I think there's someone we might need to speak to. I'm glad you made
Okay.
it.
Thanks.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you're
Stares at you.
approaching our
We're here to work.
our large man standing at the back door.
Yes. Do you want to say hi, or I could go up if you want?
And
Yeah,
when I
go
say
on.
large, he's got to be 8 foot tall, built like a brick shit house, just gigantic, bald, big leather coat going down to his ankles, basically, and just big,
Does his coat
handy,
have-
muscly arms.
Does his coat have pockets?
Many. He's a thief. He's a scoundrel. Of course, they all have pockets.
Tone starts walking over with intent.
I just side along very quietly in her shadow, basically, just kind of watching what's about to happen.
You.
Sorry, go on.
What are you doing here?
You're awfully tall.
Yes, many people say.
How did
Can
you
I
grow
help
so
you?
tall? I mean, can I stand next to you?
And
You're
I
so tall.
out the other side of her and go, excuse me, sir. Yes, actually, my friends and I here, I believe, to see the Queen if she's available. We believe there's some work available.
You want to see Queen?
There's been a big
Suppose-
notice outside for certain people. We're here.
I've seen you around. You are Blink, yes?
Yes, I am. I am Blink, very much so. Is there anything you need? I can try and acquire it. See what we can do. My friend's here. We've got big
Give
one
him a
over there.
wink, Blink. Give him a wink.
Okay, give a wink, kind of a bit thrown by that, but
Isn't he
at the
great?
same time I go with it. And I say, this of course is Tones. You may have seen her. You kind of can't not see her. And you've also got next to us here our good friend Kit, one of the wreckers.
He'll just sort of do a little nod of an acknowledgement to you, enjoying your coat, just very much like a with the coat. And you'll see as you approach him as well, and he gives Tones a quite amused but somewhat irritated grin. His smile will turn up into this huge toothy grin, and you'll see that his mouth is layered with shark teeth. He doesn't have human teeth, he's got rows upon rows of shark teeth, and his eyes are dark, beady little depths of blackness. So as you're sort of making your way around and he's eyeing you off, got his rows upon teeth, like, you can go. Welcome in. I'll open the door out for you.
How
Tones
generous.
reaches to
very
touch the
much.
teeth.
No.
Sorry, Blake.
Later.
Okay.
When you've entered the small office, there's a couple of people milling around the desk, and there's a woman there. She's got sort of dark honey skin, long thick black hair. It's so shiny. It's the shiniest hair that you've ever seen in Duskfall. And the room is illuminated by lots of candles. This area of Night Market, not everywhere has got access to electricity. It seems the main section does, but these smaller rooms don't have that access. So there's lots of candlelight around. And at the table, you see the woman sort of wave away some of the people that are around her, looking over some maps.
She's so beautiful, guys.
Hello, my darlings.
Hi.
What brings you to see me today?
Just seeing you's enough. Oh my, I don't remember why we're here. You're so
Flattery,
beautiful.
darling.
Your
Flattery.
hair. Your hair's so shiny. Is it natural?
Of course it is, darling.
Oh, wow.
We're quite. Honey is quite the anti-aging property.
But you don't need to be anti-aged. You're timeless.
Oh, flattery, darling, flattery. What brings you to me?
Tones looks completely confused. She
Look at
literally
how
has
did I
no
end up
idea.
So, look, I know you're got a tight working crew, and wouldn't mind. Look, we're not looking for perhaps long-term employment, but we'd like to make an example of ourselves if that's possible. I heard you had work going. Look, my family's been around for a while. We've done quite well for ourselves, but I feel like we're getting a bit stale and stagnant, and we need to stray from the path. Not everyone in my family agrees, so I have a couple of my friends here to help us out with the job.
Blinky called us friends.
Yeah. Play cool, man.
I see you must have seen our recruitment posters. Oh, it's so good. It was really a out of the pocket suggestion by one of our underlings, but it seems to have worked quite well for now. Well, my name's Dejira. Pleasure to meet you. She
Pleasure
sort
to
of
meet your
extends her
acquaintance.
hand. She's got these beautiful long fingers. Like, she's just gorgeous in every manner of the word.
Take my cap off and it's lovely to meet you, ma'am.
Tones with a
Very
very
lovely to meet you.
unexpectedly grace kisses the back of her hand, bows a little.
Likewise.
And she'll sort of make sure she double checks that all of her rings are still on her fingers and then fold her hands back into her lap. As you may be knowing, there's a war occurring within Crowsfoot. The Red Slashes and the Lampblacks, petty. It's bad for the city, but it is good for business, my darlings. I'm staying well out of it, but I do need to ensure that our position remains standing in this perilous time, and I'll gladly take on some new recruits and fund any sort of any matter of crew support that you might need. Anything
all right.
to take the red sashes and lamp blacks down a peg.
Right. So I think, just for clarification purposes, we're looking for a job, and you're speaking of recruitment, as in joining the crew. Are you looking for something to be done that has no association with the hive?
At present, darling, we do want the smallest amount of association, just on the books, you see. Not in practice. We won't be expecting you to, go to war for us or anything. That would be insanity.
I'd go to war for
However,
you.
oh, you sweet. We do, however, need to boost our social standing, so to say. I'm more than happy for you to do some work. I would pay you quite handsomely for it. As long as we're just giving the air of our association being at the highest peg that it can be. Mostly so it's a deterrence tactic, you see?
Right.
So we'll be doing the odd job for
Maintain the
but
old
not
status quo.
necessarily. Exactly, darling. So you won't be needing to join us unless you surely would like to. We can absolutely do put something into place if you'd like to, but of course we would have to test your metal, as it were. But would you have work if you are willing to do so?
Oh, you don't even need to pay us. We'll do anything for you. And I imagine
Hey.
at this point, they're clamping hands over her mouth.
Yeah,
As she's
I was
saying
looking.
that, I lean over really quietly over to Kit and say, "Who is the Queen working for? I didn't get it. Who's her faction?"
So the Queen is the head of the Hive. And you would have heard of the Hive as one of the few major players.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Queen is the head of the Hive, a huge major player within the city. We've got so many different factions and so many different people pledging their loyalty across the city. The Hive, as you would all know from your expertise in various areas, is a faction of distribution. They distribute lots of illicit goods. So, they're in the kind of trading and smuggling market. Some things above board, some things not. And they do have their sticky fingers in lots of different pockets, keeping their options open. They are a fan of keeping their options open.
Moving with the tide.
Begging your pardon, of course, it's a Hive. I should have guessed. I'd be very happy to work my way in up in the Hive and provide whatever I can. As if you need to get into places or out, just that's what I can help with.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm sure we can pay you handsomely for that work.
If my friends are keen as well, I believe so. What do you think, Kit and Tones? What do you think?
Yeah. It's all
I mean,
sounding good to me.
what? Yeah, sure. Goes back to staring at the Queen.
It's good. It's a good Tones. She's in. She's in.
Well, we've had a simple job coming up. It's available right now, actually. We need some merchandise collected from the docks and transported back here through to night markets to our distributors here. However, it's a dangerous journey. I've got most of my crew across the city doing other odd jobs, odds and ends. So it's one that's fallen through the cracks, I'm afraid. But we do need to have this shipment collected as a matter of importance. Perhaps you'd be able to do this for me.
Blink's good at finding things,
Certainly
and Kit can
good.
carry things.
What's the merch that you got going?
A bit of this, bit of that. Primarily unrefined Leviathan oils.
Ooh,
That won't be a problem, will it?
I just
So
look
a
over.
delicate job then.
Yes, a matter of delicacy, of course.
Right.
Not only will I require at least a large amount to make it to its destination, but you would know surely of its volatile nature and
Right.
its narcotic benefits. I'd at least like to receive most of the shipment, and I will not take kindly to things going into your pockets. I am paying your pockets well enough as it is. Are we understanding?
Absolutely.
Certainly, of
Absolutely
course.
then. I mean,
Own
yes,
toast.
of course, the potentiality of raw Leviathan oil. It's yeah, not much use in its raw state, apart from blowing things up, as I heard. So look, we're gonna have to be quick and quiet, but mostly careful. This isn't gonna be a smash and grab, I take it. I'm very familiar with the docks. Are we looking for a contact of some kind, or are we doing a
Well, I can
bit of
put you
a
into.
slip
I can
here,
send you the
replace the
address.
crates
But
kind of a situation?
you will need to organize your way through the docks and through the city.
Yeah, no
And I'm going to
problem.
say from here, we'll start going into our preparation for the score.
Sweet.
It's a very fun
Cool.
little
Aye.
exercise. Let me
So
move
for
you
anyone
over
who's not
to-
familiar with Blades in the Dark, there's got different phases of the game. We've just gone through what we call free play, which is getting ready for the score, finding the people, and now I believe I can't remember what it's called. We're doing the scoring bit.
We're about to go into our engagement role,
That's the
but
word.
first we're going to be choosing your point of attack and the missing detail. So the enjoyable thing about Blades in the Dark is that we don't have to organize all the planning ahead of time. You figure out what manner it is that you're going to be achieving your goal, and the missing detail for that. So in this case, I'm going to say we're going to be doing a transport gig.
Yeah.
However,
Simple
we
job,
will need
nothing
to
could
find
go
out
wrong.
missing detail. So
I'm
It's
going to
just-
say Hoju suggests that we have to make sure we have a plan B.
It's
For the
kind of
hive.
kind of stole
Well,
the variation of the pun I was
B.
lining up. I was like, right, so we got a point A, and then what's going to be the point B?
B.
Where are we taking the goods?
Nice.
Start
All
already.
right.
Well, we
Great
want
GM. What do
to
we do?
start out with well, I mean, we're going to be going to the engagement role details, so it's going to be a transport
Ooh.
one, but just for the sake of everyone knowing what the other options are for if anyone wants to play a game like this. You might be going through assault, deception, stealth, occult, social, or transport. Those are your points of attack, basically. Think of it as your, if you were going to plan a score or plan some sort of objective, those would be the categories that you would think about going ahead with that. And you're wanting to find the missing detail for that. So for a transport gig, we're basically wanting to think of the route and the means of getting this job done. So I will just move you over to the map so then you can kind of see a bit better. So this is
And I would
Duskfall.
just like to highlight, as Among Mates is cooking his dinner, I hope that you're happy with the love so far.
Yeah.
Hey,
Bow show.
very much.
All
I
right.
am.
Nice. That's
So-
a cool looking city.
We are over here at the docks.
Mhm.
And in fact, I will even put a little token on there for you. There you go.
Sweet.
That's you.
Hey, we're there.
So this is where you're going to be needing to collect
there we are.
the shipment from. And you will be needing to navigate to Night Market up on the top right side.
Mhm.
So the directions that you would want to go through, completely up to you. So you want to figure out your route, and you're going to want to figure out a missing detail about how you're actually going to get everything over there? Are you going to carry it? Are you going to get a chariot? Are you going to go in the sewers? Are you going to go take the canals, go through the water? How are you going to manage this situation? So we don't need to know the exact details of all the bits and bobs, but just the rough.
Okay.
I mean, did we know how much we're going to carry?
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of curious.
She would be telling you that there would be more than you can carry comfortably. You would be they're basically big crates. So you'd be able to carry one each. You'd be able to carry a crate each, but you wouldn't be really conducive to sneaking around.
I don't like
it would
that
be fairly obvious that you're carrying a big old crate full of illegal substances. But you are so welcome to do that if that's what you'd like to do.
What
just
you
put on
guys
a
think?
high-vis jacket and walk down the street. We'll be right.
Well, actually, I had an idea.
Someone carry a ladder. We'll be fine.
Well, some with the clipboard, some with the ladder, we're fine. Well, along those lines, I was actually thinking some kind of mortuary cart. You know, if we to move people, the recently deceased, around town, and given the nature of Dustfall and the concern around ghosts, I imagine people wouldn't want to come too close to that. So I'm thinking mortuary cart-ish. And I may be projecting a lot into the canon, but I'm like, seems reasonable.
Fun. I will mention that because death is such a significant factor in Duskfall, a lot of it is taken care of by our spirit wardens, which are another faction. They're another major faction. They're these really creepy people that have robes and plague doctor masks that go in, and they will, as soon as there's a body to be found. Actually, as a fun little detail, as soon as any death occurs in the city, you will hear a big tolling bell. So fairly infrequently, you'll just hear bells tolling, and there's just sort of this electromagnetic ghost detection system. And we've got our crows that'll sort of filter their way down, find the body, and your spirit wardens would go and collect them and neutralize the soul to prevent it from becoming a ghost. So this would be something that you might need to look into, given that people that carry normally the people dealing with death would be our spirit wardens. So how would you manage that kind of thing?
A SEAL team exorcist kind of thing, like they just operate and they just go in quick and clean. All right.
It does need to be. It's like an emergency services, like get in there, because the sooner, the longer you leave the body, the more likely the ghost is going to cause havoc.
Okay.
I mean, it's a high risk to impersonate spirit wardens. Like that's a definite high risk thing. People aren't going to go near them initially. You know, no one's going to go near a spirit warden doing their business.
They are going to avoid them.
I think that might be the way that we can disguise it initially, perhaps.
And then we ditch that once we're out of the docks. Like,
gotta have you can't just have one getaway vehicle.
We're planning already, aren't we?
Too much planning.
Too much planning. But a cart.
So,
I feel like we need a cart.
Get a cart?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So if we're getting a cart, I'd love for you to think of how you're going to go about that. Do any of you have a contact for someone who might be able to procure a cart for you?
Contact.
Well,
I would say not according to my character sheet.
I might actually. I've got a being from the night market myself. He's a city clerk who might be able to. I've got a friend of mine. She, if I may be able to persuade her as well, might sign off something for us that we could use.
Planning.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe I could have a chat with her and see what she can do for us. Maybe, get a car for us.
Fantastic. I just for the sake of going through it, I'm going to get you to do a fortune roll for me. So we've got two types of rolls. We've got action rolls and we've got fortune rolls. Fortunes are just straight rolls that sort of determine the quality of something or the likelihood of something when it's a situation where it's not necessarily your actions. So because you do have contact in it, I'm going to get you to roll 2d6s and I'm going to get you to take the highest result and tell me what that one is.
Sweet as. I'll give it a go. Sidle on up to Petra. Have a little bit of a chat. 3 and 3.
3 and 3.
Not great.
Feel like 3.
You'll be approaching her, and she'll kind of see you coming. You're probably approaching her at work, and she's like, "Get me out." And she's
I'm out.
so a 1 to a 3 is an unsuccessful attempt. 4, 5, 6 are your successful attempts. So then we have, in this case, we've got a failure with complication as well. Complication isn't too high because it was not super risky, not a super risky thing, and you do have that higher position, being friends with her. However, a consequence of you trying to really force this interaction is she's gonna be really hesitant to want to work with you in future. So it means I'm going to say in future, if you do need to use her as a contact, you're going to be rolling at a disadvantage for any fortune rolls in future.
Okay. I step out of there and get
very
as
unlikely to work with you.
Quickly go as nondescript and not noticeable as possible as I exit there as well, just like mingling on crowd, and I meet up with my mates. And yeah, that didn't work. Okay, we're going to try something else. Any ideas? Any ideas?
I think we should get a cart. And offers no advice on how to.
That's all right.
Yeah.
We can get straight into using the cart. We like the procuring something with contacts helps your situation. However, we can just jump straight into the action and figure out those exact details later. But it does mean that we'll have some disadvantage for our engagement roll, which we'll get into. So we're going to get straight into our engagement. I will start off by asking you all to choose your load. So you've got the option of choosing light, medium, or heavy load. So you'll see on your character sheets just means the amount of items that you can carry with you. Blades in the Dark is fantastic in that you don't have a list of all the bits that you need to be carrying, and you have to add and subtract stuff to it. You've got basically empty pockets filled with voids that you can just pull out things at random. There are sort of standard items that you get are reasonable to expect, and if you do want to flash back and to have prepared a really specific item, we can then do that. And we'll get into our flashbacks a little bit later once they become relevant. But I think we'll start off picking your load. So what load is everyone doing presently?
I was thinking normal.
I would be light load. I try to travel light as much as possible.
See, I want to take normal, but Tones is just light because chronically underprepared.
Cool. 2 light, 1 normal. Fantastic. All right, then we're going to get into engagement roll. So, nice. Which I totally prepared.
So and welcome, Mindy Conti. Thank you so much for your chat. Welcome in. I hope you're enjoying the game.
Welcome.
Every score begins with 1 dice for sheer luck. Then we've got
love a dice.
We'll add also, then I would say, is this mission very bold or daring? I would say yes, because we haven't got our exact plan rolled out, and we're doing it as a sort of test. It's sort of the first time you're all working together.
Yeah.
Is the operation overly
how Tones lives?
Is our operation overly complex or contingent on many factors? I wouldn't say so. I'd say it's fairly straightforward. You know what you're picking up and where you're going. So does the plan's detail expose any vulnerabilities of a target? I wouldn't say so. Is the target strongest against this approach? I mean, I'd say docks it's a shipping place. They're sort of used to things coming and going. I'd say they're fairly average against it, but would they have any special defenses or preparations? Wouldn't say so. Can any of your friends or contacts provide any additional aid or insight for this operation? So do you have any other contacts that might be able to provide some insight.
If someone else doesn't, I've got an idea. I've got a mate.
We can add dice.
Well,
in
I've
it.
got-
the more context you got, the more dice we add.
I've got a friend in the Bluecoats, and I'm just thinking when we're passing by at a certain time, I have because I know where he operates. I just if we can get him to look the other way, it'll help us get through as fast as we can.
Beautiful.
I don't know how this works mechanically because my vice purveyor actually lives in the night market, so I am a frequenter of the night
Frequenter?
markets. Yeah,
Yep.
I frequently frequent. Going down there. They live on a barge down there, and so I would be around the night markets a lot. So I wouldn't stick out there, but I don't know if mechanically that counts as a friend or contact because it isn't actually one of my friends or contacts in my official list.
It depends. How do you think they would be able to provide aid to you in any way? Would they be able to provide any insight on the transport geek
They've
itself?
got eyes everywhere. So this is someone who has got fingers in everything because they're always got an eye out for drugs, new experiences, weird toys coming in, anything that is strange and odd that can alter a person's experience. So they've always got their fingers in the pies.
Okay.
And sometimes literally in the pies because, hey, some people are into that.
Would
Okay.
that happen?
I'll add a dice to that. You've convinced me.
Cool.
Moose.
Jared, do you have any other contacts? Anyone who you might be able to help?
Yeah, I do have a sentinel in the form of Celine. So I guess maybe as a hired guard, perhaps they're, maybe they can try and get employ if we're trying to get it from like a warehouse or something. Maybe because this is a precious cargo, there would be perhaps work out for maybe mercs and guards who would need to protect it. So maybe Celine could be employed this particular hour of our poaching.
Yeah, that could be good.
Okay. Yeah, so you might be able to call in some support.
Mm.
Easy. We've got 5 dice in our pool, so we're going to roll out.
I don't
see
know
how
if
we go.
that's good or great.
The more dice
I'm
you
going
got,
to
the
say
better it is.
Yep.
Hey, we like the dice.
4 plus. That's what we
So
want.
we'll take our highest score, which basically cuts us straight into the action depending on how good or how bad I roll for you. So it sets your position. So position and effect are a big thing. So how well and how accurate you're going to be doing things. So lower anything from 1 to 3, you're going to be in a desperate position starting off. You're going to be not having a good
On the
time.
back foot.
4 or 5, you're a bit risky, and 6, you're in a really controlled position. Everything's gone to plan. You're straight into it.
Nice.
Right,
Beautiful.
so let's hope for some 6s. Let's hope for 6s.
What could possibly go wrong?
Critical.
It's a simple job.
Easy.
Yes.
Just realised that my little arm cuffs are actually blanking out.
Uh-oh.
So I've just got like
We've got
floating
2
arms.
6s.
Hey!
Oh.
Crit.
Can we
That's
crit
a
on
crit.
it? Yeah.
That's a crit.
Easy.
That's a crit.
Yep. Congratulations.
Favors
First
the
roll.
bold.
Oh,
Yeah.
You can only get
wonderful.
out.
Okay.
So we just
Sorry,
walk in,
let's
we
get
pick
into
them
it.
up, we walk back, all done.
Let's get into it. All right. So I'm going to say that you've headed in, and you would have had Tones would have had her kind of contacts go through and be like, do you have any idea of when the ships are going to be coming through? Do you know if they're all prepared for us? Do you know if there's going to be any guards? Do you know if you're going to have to pay anything to be able to take the shipment out? And with support from the Hive, they've been able to tell you, here's the exact location for your shipment. Here's the tariffs that you're going to need to pay to get it out. They'll give you the money for it. And you're making your way straight out of the docks. And you've managed to just get it all loaded straight from the ship onto a cart that was waiting and ready for you. Fortune is on your side. Fortune is on your side.
I don't know who owns this, but let's take it.
The Hive
Sorry, that
decided to
laugh's
be
annoying.
kind to you and give you a lot of support. So we're going to start off. We're at the docks and we're heading through. I realized we didn't actually figure out our route. So you're starting at the docks. We'll figure it out as we go. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
So from the docks, you've got sort
We're
of
the
two
experience.
actions.
We don't know.
You can go up through Brightstone or through Crowsfoot.
Yeah, fine.
Brightstone is your fancy schmancy, expensive manors, and Crowsfoot is lots of townhouses, sort of lower class, sort of petty rivalries and gangs and stuff going on there. But it'll be much easier to slip through as opposed to your fancy schmancy housing estates. Which way you're sort of thinking?
Yeah, I remember the thing about Crowsfoot and the gangs fighting as well, so we've got to watch out for that. But it should be a lot easier to get through, definitely more than Brightcandle. That's going to be just...
I have to, I'm going to have to take a different stance, I'm afraid. I think maybe Brightstone. Like you said, less action on the streets, and perhaps we can, set ourselves up to look like we belong there. Not that I'm sort of scolding anyone's appearance here, but we scrub up, we look a little bit more proper, and I think we might be able to mosey on through undeterred.
Oh, you mean like these? I don't know if this is a good time, but can I do a flashback
Thank you.
as we're doing
I'll
this?
set you up for that.
To where
Let's start with flashbacks.
Tones is all about doing as much experiences outside of the norm. So one of the parties that she went to was a very upper class. I don't know how explicit I can be, but it's the kind of party that you do not take minors to.
Love it.
And yeah. And the
vagueness
outfits,
of
red
that
light
said
stuff.
enough.
yeah. Yeah. And the outfits that we wore at that party were very nice. Not quite sure how Tones got invited, not quite sure where the money came from, but there was a lot and they really liked waifs. So Tones just happened to take those with her because she gained an invitation to go back because of she was able to commune and get some ghosts to do some things at this party, which really endeared some of the more people with some more particular
Extreme.
tastes. Yeah,
Tones got
extreme
freaky,
tastes.
basically.
Tones got freaky at this party, and
Love
they said
it.
she could keep a whole bunch of the clothes because they want her to come again.
Dope.
Yeah, fantastic.
Eee.
I'm gonna say you can take 2 stress for that. And you've got your clothes ready and prepped.
Sweet.
I'm assuming that you probably would have stored them somewhere nearby, or you've got them in your pack.
It's the night markets. I always have things lied around. So Sarak, who is my vice purveyor, and because the night markets is where it's all at, baby. So I've got like a few little stashes around there, and it just so happened that we passed by one of those.
Yeah, awesome. Fantastic.
Sweet.
Well, so you're heading straight up into Brightstone then.
Mhm.
Beautiful.
I mean,
okay,
we can wear these anywhere. Like, we look amazing.
You might be more likely to get mugged if you're looking real
Yeah.
fancy.
I think true, but hopefully it. Look, maybe I should keep an eye out for my mate. That's Dermot. He's the blue coat, and he's actually a good friend, not just a contact for me. So I'm hoping we might be able to get him on side to make sure we're a bit safe going through there.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, beautiful. So as you're going through, you've managed to do a quick outfit change. You've stopped off to the side. Done an outfit
Tones was
change.
about to just change in
Feeling
the middle of the
great.
street, 100%.
Oh, well, then it
Yeah.
sounds...
Clearly drag.
You
It's
were.
like this over here.
The others are like,
Okay.
put some clothes on. And you've got the fancy folks being like, oh, good heavens.
Unhound me.
Ah, decorum. And I'm going to say this is actually going to cause a bit of a hubbub. And you're going to have the bluecoats stroke down the road and flag you and be like, oi, what's going on down here? What do you look like there?
Oh, just
What's
a
in the
bit.
cart?
Oh, don't worry about the cart. Just a bit of a wardrobe malfunction. Nothing to worry.
Silly me. Oh my gosh,
you
I'm
know,
so silly.
just
Getting ready for a party. That's
Yeah,
it.
just getting ready for a party, and look, just perhaps got on the sauce a little early. Nothing to worry
Yeah,
about.
a little,
I
a
love
little
people in
excited
uniform.
ahead of time.
You
know
guys
what
look
I
amazing. Again, creepy hand on chest. You look
mean?
amazing.
Oh Lord.
So, are we looking at we're trying to diffuse this situation? We're trying to really.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say we're gonna need a roll for
Yeah.
that.
Feels a bit
yeah.
social.
Right.
So
I do have a dot
I'm
in
not sure if you
sway.
want to. Do you want to? I would suggest like you could. One of you could do a roll to try and sort the situation out, or perhaps you could do a team or group action. Someone can
We
lead a
should do
group
a
action.
team action.
Should we do a
Do we
team
have to
action?
use
Group
the
action?
same talents?
No. Wait.
Cool.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Ah.
Hmm.
Yes, you do.
So my suggestion, I only have 1 in sway, which is better than 0.
I have one in consort.
I have one in consort as well.
Mm.
Yeah, everyone rolls the same action. Beautiful.
Oh,
So
really? Okay.
yeah. So whoever's going to lead our group action will be taking the stress basically because you're sort of leading the way, and in this case, you're just basically like follow my lead. So however you sort of want to approach this, if you want to choose a manner of approaching it that's maybe be more in your wheelhouse, that's absolutely fine. But though you don't have to be very, very good at a skill to be able to lead a group action because you do have this pool of dice from all of your teammates to help you out. But it does mean that if everyone else is not so good at it, you're going to be more likely to have lower scores, and it's going to mean that you're going to be taking a lot more stress trying to compensate for them being shit at stuff. So
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't mind sort of taking the brunt of it then. Yeah, I go, oi, sorry about that. Just while Blink's sort of maybe quickly helping the changing not be so outgoing and just getting that happening. Look, sorry to bother. We were just on our way to a party, nice and private, nothing too flash. But what time
was
do
it some
you?
kind of party?
Yeah, look, what time do you?
Hand on arm. You're so strong.
What time do you get off? Perhaps you wouldn't mind joining us after hours. You guys
So
look
I'm
like
going to ask for a roll.
you know how to relax, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yay.
Can I add to him if he's consorting with him? This is also being Bluecoats, and that's someone I have a contact with who's a friend as well. I'm hoping. Oh yeah, I was telling
so and so is coming.
Yeah, that's right. I was telling me the mate Dermot as well. He's working in the other district from here as well. He knows all about it. It's going to be a lot of fun, but I think a little bit on the kind of like upper side as well. I don't quite understand what they like with all this kind of dress, but it's meant to be helping people feel a bit calmer around the whole war
These
thing.
are my
going on.
friends.
Yeah,
They're strong too.
Should be a lot of fun.
So, Ian, I'm going to say if we're rolling, so if you decide that you're going to be rolling consort, that's the skill that you're going to be going for.
Yeah, I'm going to take Jared's
Yes.
lead. Is that the one?
Yeah.
Sure.
Ian, I'm going to give you an extra die for that because you're using your contact.
Oh, cool.
So, if I get you to all roll your consort action and let me know what your results are.
So just a quick reminder of the mechanics. We roll 2 dice, and if I don't have any dots, I take the lower.
Yep.
Nice.
Correct.
And if you have dots?
If you have dots,
dot.
straight roll. If you have multiple dots, you get advantage, basically.
Okay.
So in your case, how many dots have you got, Ian?
I've only got 1, but that means I roll 2 and I roll an extra 1 because of the contact. All right.
So if you've got 1 dot in
1 dot in consort.
Yep. So you'll be rolling 2 dice.
2 dice. And
One for your dot, one for your contact.
Or
No,
one for your dot, one for your contact. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So would you normally roll 1 die? Is that right?
Yeah.
What was that? Sorry.
So it's if you don't have any, so it's for each dot you have, it's 1 dice. You can get bonuses.
Just for the chat, so when talking about dots, we have abilities. So similar to most TTRPGs, you have abilities, but you can only add like a couple of dots in each ability. So when you're making a character, you have 4 dots to assign, and you pick where those go. and we'll bring up a character sheet at some point to kind of show everybody
Yeah,
what
I
that
can.
is.
Let me show
Um,
you a basic.
But
character
essentially,
sheet.
yeah, it's a lot harder to roll to do as well. I think it's yeah. Yeah,
And it's a
so
lot.
I
Yeah,
don't
if
have.
anyone's familiar, it's not quite like a dice pool system, so much as the vein of like Shadowrun and stuff, where you could potentially be rolling 20 dice if you really wanted to get into it. I think it's far more elegant. So yeah, for each dot, it's 1 dice. But if you have
cool.
no
So I've got
dots, it's 2 dice. Take the lowest.
I should have have a clutter playbook
Yep.
shared available.
skirmish
So
is
this
nice.
is not filled out basically, but so for example, you've got skirmish has 2 dots. So they would roll 2 dice and take the best result. For a command, they have 1 dot, so they would just roll a straight dice. And for any of their other stats, they would roll 2 dice and take the lowest result.
Okay, that makes sense. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
2 dice then, but because of my contact, it's a straight roll.
Yeah.
Contact is going to be the purple die. 5 and 5.
Nice.
Beautiful. What's everyone else got?
My lowest was 3.
3.
Cool. Well, we're going to take the 5s. So that's
Beautiful.
what we're calling a success with a complication. And I say for your, this would be, I think it's a standard effect risky position. So we're going to assume that most things are standard effect with risky position, unless I say otherwise, because that will mean that the outcomes are going to be a little bit different. But most things are risky and standard. And in this case, we're taking our highest result, which is a 5. And Jared, you're taking anything below a 3. So we had 2 3s, so you're going to take 2 stress.
Cool.
So 2 stress for leading this, but like really trying to deal with that, and you're sort of leaning on your mate Blink to be like,
Yeah. I don't think I had a lot of sway. Not using the skill sway. I don't think I had a lot of influence on these guys. So thank you for stepping in.
Yeah. Yeah. So our blue coats, going to sort of go, oh, yeah, right. Your mates with him, eh? Yeah.
Oh, he's a good mate.
What party did you say you were going to? Whereabouts was
We
it?
can't say where the party is. That's a secret. Only if you come. Do you want to come with us?
I
can make you come.
For it. She's the lead. She's the one who has the details, and we're just following her as well, so we don't know exactly.
Yeah. All right.
And we're going there after work, anyway, so we just got to finish this.
Hence the car. All right.
Yeah, we just got to finish this delivery, and then it's like one of those underground party things. You get the SMS the night of.
Yeah, right.
I mean, don't you want to bring a little bit of naughtiness sometimes? That's why I'm bringing them.
Yeah, I see. Well, I guess you can be on your way then, but keep out of trouble, all right?
It'll be off the streets, we promise.
I'm going to say your complication for this is now going to be, the blue coats are now going to be more aware of you and keeping their eye on you. So I'm going to start a clock.
We're doomed.
I'm going to start a clock.
Clock.
Nice. Clocks. Whee.
So let me just change that to. There we go. So we're going to have a 4-sided clock. So if anything else spooky happens, or you raise any more attention, I'm going to take down pieces of that clock. And we're gonna call that getting caught by the blue coats, basically.
Nice.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Fabulous. So from here, where are you headed? Heading to 6 Towers? Heading to Charter Hall? What are we doing?
Let's have a look.
What are the flavors of each?
So Charter Hall is your sort of your
Isn't it?
city centre, basically. There's all your government buildings. So it's kind of not so much upper class, but it is it's still working class, but it is your more officials, elected officials. Whereas 6 Towers, let me remind myself about their.
I think that was some of the old nobles, wasn't it? It's like the oldest part of the city.
Yes, yeah, they're older noble cities. If my brain recalls, let me go. Where was it?
Yeah, they're all a bit hoity-toity up there.
Yes, 6
Mm.
towers. So they're formerly rich. They're a bit worn down and dilapidated. So they're kind of still that sort of medium
Old
wealth
money.
levels, basically.
Old
Yeah.
money.
So
I
they're
lost
not
the
sort
game.
of rolling in it, but they still have the snootiness of being old nobles, essentially.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm not too sure, to be honest.
look, I think.
I think 6 towers, personally. If you're going to go through
Yeah.
the government watch, I'm worried about those blue coats going around. So if you go to
Mm.
6 towers, they'll be a bit snooty, but if we've got these good looking, like,
Yeah.
blouses you've given us here, we'll go with that. See if we get away
Definitely
with
been
that.
to parties in 6 towers. You know, just because you're sort of that like lower upper middle class doesn't mean you like to get freaky sometimes. I cannot believe where this character is going, by the way.
I'm obsessed with it.
I'm
It's
having fun.
fantastic.
Yeah, I'm having fun with it, to be honest. And I mean, yeah, old money. Might not want blue coats round. Probably have more private hire security and things like that.
Yep.
So if anyone's gonna have eyes on it, they'll be fresh eyes at least.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's move over to 6 towers.
Whee!
Now, as you're sort of entering this district, you'll see the area is looking. You can tell that there used to be a lot of money here. The houses are big, but they're a bit worn down. There's weeds in the gardens. There's dirt and dust on the outside of the buildings. The eaves aren't painted. There's paint peeling. You can see that there's, obviously very little care taken into, and whatever sort of dregs of money are really kept tight in their purses, as opposed to wasting it on the property, essentially. You're going to be making your way through, and you are sort of coming from Brightstone, which is the much more upper class area. You don't obviously stand out at a glance. But if people sort of take a bit more of a time to look at you, they can see that you are wearing much fancier clothes, whereas they've got this sort of older styles that there is a little bit threadbare. They've got the fancy look to them, but they're kind of like, you've got the newest Gucci season going on right there. I've got 2 years ago. And you can see sort of people eyeing you off. People who are sort of just walking around and being like, not really sure if you belong. What would you be doing to sort of navigate the situation?
As that happens, as we're moving along and leaving Brightstone, I am slowly but carefully taking this clothing off as surreptitiously as possible, sneakily as possible, and is getting back into my nondescript as if I'm kind of like one of their servants, to just be able to also not be seen as much, and then I'll stay alongside it. If I can, I'll do whatever I can to try and get back in my usual gear and be as nondescript as possible.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and I think Tones is sort of playing up the intoxicated waif-like daughter thing. Like, I'm slumming it. This is the best. I'm here with these guys. Whatever.
Shabby chic.
Okay. Yeah, shabby chic. It's like, of course I belong here. I belong everywhere. Sorry about Dean Dog. He has thoughts.
Strong
Kit, what are we
opinions.
doing?
I don't think we established what kind of cart this is, just so that I have at least a visual. Are we thinking just like hand-drawn cart, and maybe we've got like half a dozen sort of crates in it. We've thrown a waxed canvas over the top of it just to look a little, lash it down so that we're, it's not just something that someone could quickly take a peek at, kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Horse-drawn, I'm assuming. So
yeah, I don't know. I was thinking hand-drawn. Hey,
you can tell me
Hand-drawn?
the details.
Yeah.
The benefit of this is like you sort of tell me what you want your
Well,
cart
that's
to
what I was
look like,
thinking.
and
Like,
if you want to make it a stretch, then you're going to roll for it. But if not,
yeah,
go with the fiction.
I was thinking hand-drawn rather than horse-drawn, so I think that's going to bring out,
okay.
we're not going to be clopping through the streets having old ladies peek out windows and shit at us.
I'll just note really quick. There are no horses in Duskfall.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah, I wasn't sure if there
we
was
have goats. Really
hand-drawn.
big goats.
I was going to say like canine drawn. Dean Dog
Robbing
has a
goats.
purpose, and he's the one
Dean
drawing
Dog.
attention to
Dean
us.
Dog is not not with he's barking. We are not getting anywhere
He needs-
quite
No, no,
on
no,
top of the
no,
cart,
no,
resting and
no.
making us fall along. I
Yeah.
think. Hand
I
drawn? I
mean,
think that's a good idea.
yeah,
think
I mean,
hand-drawn.
just hand drawn, and just you know, maybe just like, yeah, in this whole, like, you know, oh, you lot, I shouldn't have taken that left turn. We're so lost now. We're so lost. We have to really hurry up. We're gonna be late for you know, what would they call you know, as death is so ceremoniously dealt with, would there be a different kind of funeral? Would there be like some sort of ceremony that would be still in memory of those? Or is it more of a sort of, we don't celebrate it so much now that it is a bit more of a tragic and frightening thing?
Yeah, so death itself would be very much a quick process. It wouldn't be like, you wouldn't prepare and mourn a body. It's like spirit wardens
Mm.
come in, they take it out, and
Oh.
you might be lucky to see them before their corpse is dragged away and dissolved.
Right.
So it's
But
more like this.
the people would be more likely to there's sort of central religions within Duskfall. People would be more likely to flock to those institutions and go to services for those, or seek whether or not they want to have one run, or they're just going to seek some comfort from these religions.
Sounds like
Okay.
memorials of the way, basically. It's just a
Yeah.
memorial that happens probably, and there's a notice in the paper.
As a mung mate says, "Oh my god, they killed Kenny." Now, what were you saying?
Yeah, essentially. Essentially.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay, so we won't use the whole, oh, we're gonna be late for the funeral, you know, whatever.
Oh, can we say, how about we're late
you
for
know,
get
we're
this
li-
in before curfew?
The
We need to
party's
get
not
this
going
in.
to
Yeah, well-
start until I'm there.
No, exactly.
fine.
We're going to be late for curfew. We've taken a long turn, and I don't know where
I
it was.
don't
So
have a curfew.
no, I understand that, but we were supposed to drop these off an hour ago. We best be on our way. You know, just to sort of put the idea that, you know, oh well, you know, these dang kids on my lawn. At least they're on. You know, at least they're going somewhere. We're not loitering. You know, put that perception out into the
Nice,
streets.
nice.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to say the blue coats are still sort of keeping an eye on you, and there's not as much sort of patrolling this area because it is sort of a little bit more affluent. So they are just going to be keeping an eye. And I'd say that you're kind of working your way through it. I'm going to take a piece of the clock off, just for the sake of you're still drawing some attention to yourself, but not enough to be super obvious. They're still kind of on you. However, you are sort of attracting the attention of some couple of young men that are sort of loitering around the street. They're sort of looking into each other and having a bit of a laugh. They can see there's sort of some bottles smashing, but sort of hanging out under one of the flickering lamps, trying to get a small bit of respite within the darkness from a little bit of light. They can sort of look over to you. You all right, mate? You look a bit lost, are you? Can I help you?
Oh yeah, just took a wrong turn somewhere, but I know night market's still sort of east from here. We're I know there's one of the footbridges here somewhere.
Yeah, you're right. You're in the. You're kind of a bit turned around. How about give you a hand, eh? They're kind of gonna sidle around you, and they're gonna make their way around to either side of your cart and toward the back, kind of blocking you off around. Sort of looking over your goods and looking over you, scoping you out.
Do I
And
know any of these from my parties?
I wouldn't say so. No, they would be. They're younger fellows. I don't think that they're the leash of society is really letting them go that far.
Yeah.
But they're going to be kind of looting around enough, and you'll be able to sort of see them look over, and one of them is going to pull a knife. Be like, really press it up against right into your back, into Tones' back, actually. She's kind of giving the air of being, I'm drunk, so they're thinking she's the easier target. Get the girl. I'm sure they'll deal with it from there. It's going to press a knife into your back and be like, drop the cart.
So Tones is going to spin around, pull the knife into her, tilt her head sideways, and lean into him and go, I like the way you play.
Horror.
She's trying to freak these guys out.
That is definitely some self-inflicted harm that we're going to do, though. So, pulling a knife into you, yeah. So,
not
like,
to like damage, but just
or...
to break the skin a little bit.
I'm gonna get you to roll a what's the word?
Freak check.
Yeah, I like to think Tones would be the kind of person who knows where to take a blade.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you to roll a resistance to resist the mass, like resist the injury going straight into crucial organs. So you're gonna roll
wow.
On your sheet, on the left hand side in the column, you've got the sort of row on the left of the line. So you're going to roll will be prowess.
The one I have nothing in. Yep.
So yeah, you're going to roll some prowess.
Cool.
Which is your...
Tell me how this goes. How to do this.
So how you're going to, if you don't have anything in prowess, you're going to roll at your disadvantage, unless anyone can suggest a devil's bargain to improve your odds. I'd love to introduce a devil's bargain. We haven't had one yet.
I mean, I could do a devil's bargain because Tones has done this kind of thing before. So I feel... Yeah, I know. This Tones is full on among mates. I did not anticipate this character going in this direction. I was thinking, Jinx, cute.
It kind of feels like when you do it, though. But I'm happy, yeah. What are you thinking?
Yeah. I'm trying to think out because, it's Jinx. Jinx. There's my inspiration born on my sleeve. Tones is into freaky stuff. And would have been played in a way that is not comfortable for a lot of things, a lot of people before. So Devil's Bargain, I think that she probably would intentionally injure herself. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to think how the Devil's Bargain can work. A kink check among mates says.
Kink check. Yeah.
We're going to get terms and service.
Well, if you're not sure, I'm thinking I could try something if it comes to it and have a devil's bargain of, because I've been allured by this magic stuff. I don't know about the kink stuff. I'm not sure of the freaky stuff, but at the same time, I'm young and impressionable, and I'm actually thinking, I want to see how she does this. And I call out, I will do a devil's bargain, and I'll put it out there, and if anyone wants to put it out there in chat, but I'm suggesting of literally taking on that she does this, and I'm like, oh guys, you're dead now. You shouldn't have done this. You're so dead now. Ghosts are coming for you, and I'm just going to keep intimidating and freak them out about what she's about to do.
Okay, so you're trying to more assist this situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
if I can.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, absolutely. So I'll let you do a straight roll for that then. Tones,
cool.
So you can do a straight roll for
1 dice.
How much damage?
Let's use the good
How much
one.
damage? Yep.
5.
Fantastic. Yeah, so you absolutely you miss the major organs, so you sort of grab his wrist, pull it in, and he's just like, oh, completely not expecting that outcome. And it does stab into your stomach. So I'm going to get you to mark down level 1 harm for minor stabbing. Level 1 harm, minor stabbing. And with Blink's additional sort of egging on, like, oh, you're done for. You're going to get into it now. The other guys are going to go, yeah, screw it. And the other two guys just sprint off. They're like, they're mummies boys. They're sort of, they're not super rich, but they're rich enough to know, not to get into a scrap.
There's a level of danger. That's too much. That's it. We're done.
Yeah. That's
We've never actually stabbed
absolutely.
anyone before. They normally just hand over their
Yeah, so this guy, he's just like, like he's got his little tiny pocket knife that he got when he was a boy, and he's like, it's blood.
I mean, we did say this was getting a bit dark and gross because Tones is going to actually get the blood and put it on his lips.
Ooh, yeah, cool. Is this an attempt to sort of get him to run away, or what?
Yeah, absolutely.
What are you trying to get out of it?
Yeah, I've picked up that he's not into this, but Tones likes to push people when she recognizes their weaknesses.
Yeah, cool.
And
I'm gonna get you to do another roll for that.
Okay.
So pick what you'd like to roll.
Oh, I feel like.
Can I assist?
Yeah, you can assist again. Absolutely.
Because
I feel it's a sway thing. Sorry, go on.
So. I'm not sure. I was actually going to try while she's doing that. Hopefully he's distracted. And I'm not sure if it's prowl or finesse, but basically I'm just eyeing that dagger off at that, whatever is at that moment where he goes, whoa, like this, and to quickly take it off him basically and just hold it to him.
Yeah, cool. I'm going to say that there's two separate rolls, but the success of Tones's roll will then alter Blink's roll, will improve the position and the effect for that, I'd say.
Awesome.
So
cool. So I've got one in sway. I've got one in sway, so that's just a straight dice.
Yes, correct.
Cool. 4.
4. Okay, still successful. So he's kind of just sort of stumbles back, and as he does, he sort of pushes backwards and puts a hand down on the back of the cart, and it kind of knocks to the side, and you hear some of those glasses of Leviathan oil clink together, and you hear a tsh, and you can see some of it starting to drip out, leaking from the back of it. And at this time, so Blink, I'll get you to roll for trying to take the knife off him.
Okay. Is that a sorry, I haven't got my character sheet up. Where is it here? Is that a prowl?
You tell me so best way to do it is think about how it is you're actually going to be completing this action. And use the actions as a verb as part of that explanation is a really good way to sort of work out what you might be wanting to roll.
From when I had given that, she's going to do, you're dead now, and it looked like I was deliberately looking like I was pulling back, something bad was going to happen to give that false sense of security, I guess, whatever it is. And then as he is focused on her, I prowl up behind him and rip it from his hand and hold it to his throat.
Yeah, awesome. So do that roll for me. Fantastic.
Awesome. Nice. I've got 2. Does it mean I roll both and 2 dice?
Yeah, if you got 2, you roll both of 2 dice and take the highest result, and you're going to have a you're now in a good position with a higher effect because of this whole situation. He's been put off balance, and Tones has made him feel really anxious. He's losing his grip on his knife already, essentially.
Okay.
Did he fall on the cart and tilt it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 4 or 3.
Oh, Bex.
4. Yeah, absolutely.
Bex.
So awesome.
Hey, Bex. Sorry, we've just been raided by the beautiful, wonderful Bex, who is a friend of the channel. Welcome in, guys. We are playing Blades in the Dark. You have arrived just in time to see one of our party member, Ian, who is playing Blink, succeed beautifully.
Succeed
I should say,
with a complication.
Yes, with a complication. I should say, for anybody who is joining us, the game we are playing is somewhat dark. We're starting to explore some borderline themes, so just be aware. It's
themes be adult.
Definitely adult themes going on here. But thank you so much for the raid. I hope you guys had a good. What were you doing? Tell us what you were doing.
In the chat.
Briefly in the chat. And we're going to go back to playing Blades in the Dark, which is a gothic inspired, dark, gritty TTRPG. and it is wonderful to see you. And I think, looking at the people, Quinn, Bex, Oak, I don't know you, but I hope you're over 18. Dainsky, oh, you wonderful, beautiful human beings. I think you will enjoy this game. But thank you so much for the raid. And our wonderful GML, I'm so sorry for interrupting you, but it is always good to acknowledge our dear friends.
Welcome, Chance.
Absolutely.
Mwah.
So, we just had Blink reach forward, pull the knife, and try and put it up against his throat. So you were successful. You're going to be grabbing that knife and grabbing it, like putting the knife against his throat. But the nature of him being already slightly off balanced, and he's going to start sort of slipping on that Leviathan oil as well. He's going to go down. You're going to land on top of him. You do still have that knife against his throat, but you're now on top of this guy instead of sort of leaning into him, which is you're face to face. You're sort of ready for a little smooch. And
He's got beautiful red lips.
So this is a bit more of a situation where you're going to be a bit unsteady. And he's like, since you've sort of jumped straight onto him, he's going to try and just sock you in the face. Do you want to try and resist any of that effect?
I'll try and dodge out of the way of it, basically, and then get up on my feet and stand over him and say,
easy. So I get you to roll your prowess. So that's your left-hand column. How many dots you got in prowess?
Total or the maximum? Like if I've got...
So on the left-hand side, you should have a column that has...
So however many dots you've got in finesse, prowl, skirmish, and wreck, add those up, and that's how many you'll have in prowess.
3 total, because I got 1 in finesse and 2 in prowl.
Yeah, exceptional. So you'll roll your 3 dice.
Okay, here we go. Okay, 1, 2, and 4.
Oof. Yeah. So he's really going to try his best. So he's going to try and sock you in, and it just kind of, you do manage to get out of the way. It does just sort of barely graze you, and you feel it hit your nose. And I'm going to get you to put level 1 harm, busted nose. So he manages to just graze your nose enough for it to go off center, and blood just starts pouring. But in the act of him sort of going, he's now in a much better position for you to then grab that knife and put it back up against his throat. What are you doing from here? I'd say that you're in a pretty successful position.
Yeah, I might just, if he's already on the ground, just pin him. Just get a boot on his chest. Weapons out of the way, so I'm not too worried that he's gonna, just have a slash at me. But I'm on my feet. I just want to pin him down. He's already disturbed the cargo, and I'm not having any more of that. So yeah. Just as soon as you've like stepped away,
just
like
to hold him down.
Yeah, I guess. No, I kind of want to hurt him a bit. He's a little shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean he's like the Joffrey. He's like think of him as like a Joffrey.
Like if he was the one talking shit and like trying to lead these other kids astray, it's like, you guys are too young for this. Like, I was born into it and my family made me this way, but whatever. Anyway, I wouldn't mind just like if he's like trying to like lean up, like if I can just get a boot to his chest and knock him back, and maybe he just smacks his head on the cobbles a little bit, I wouldn't be mad about it.
Yeah, okay. So are you wanting to get him to stop, or are you
it needs to be shocking, it's like a spank to a naughty child. I want to shock him to the point, I don't want to hurt him and make him like unconscious, but I want to shock him into like, you've stepped over your boundaries.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to say, because of this this position, you're in a really great position, so it's going to be a really high effect. I'm not even going to ask you to roll for it. He's going to be like, oh god, yeah, all right, I'm sorry, but just please let me go. I was having a drink and I was just having a good time. Please.
Oi, shush. It's all right then. What's your name there, son?
Benny.
Oi, Benny. You're right then, lad. It's all good. Your friends have run away, but you're still fighting. I respect that. I appreciate that. So look,
thank you, sir.
I understand that you obviously looking for some sign of score, some sign of reputation, and I appreciate I appreciate that you're hungry. There's nothing wrong with that. I wouldn't mind asking a favor though. If
Yes, sir.
You from these parts, or these streets, what would you say for skulking ahead for us, keeping an eye on the roads, trying to get over to there and over the night market? And look, if you want to point out any more danger to us, perhaps keep the comings and goings of the bluecoats in mind.
Yeah.
Might be a bit of silver for you by the end of this night.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'm gonna get you to a roll for that just to see
Yeah, sure.
how
successful
inclined he feels to not
Yeah.
just run away.
Yeah.
Basically.
Oh shit.
Because if you're going to be letting him go, see whether or not he's just going to be like, nah.
I know, it's like a bit of silver. Nah, bro.
I mean,
Yeah,
Tones is still like staring at him like he's lunch.
Yeah, he's not
Just
having
like-
a good time.
Just
but
like looking
is it
at
enough
their
of a bad
wound,
time
like,
to just run
"Ooh."
away, or
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'll get
sure.
you do a roll for that. What are you
So
feeling?
sorry,
Sure,
Tones is
I
freaky.
mean-
I need to tone it down.
No, I'm like, you're just
It's
lifting up your
it's
shirt
awesome.
and there's
Keep it
like
going. It's
Yeah,
multiple
and there's
entries
blood,
in
and
that
it's just like-
part of your stomach.
Can
it's
I,
not your first
while
time.
he's doing that, can I quickly look over at Leviathan Oil and try to put things together, like stop the dripping or whatever it is, or anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll get
Yeah,
you
I'll
to
do that
do
after.
a roll for that. But so
Yeah.
we'll start with the roll for your
All
Make
right.
Benny.
Yeah.
I'm probably not trying to like
Our
intimidate.
poor
I'm not trying to
first score
scare
is
him. I'm
taking
probably
so long.
trying to entice him. So I might
Great.
just do a consort again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one in consort. Let's give that a crack. I'm gonna roll my dice that I really like. All right. Use the dice you love. That's a 1. You piece of shit. You betrayed me.
Ah!
Oh!
Just like Benny.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call that my Benny dice. You son of a bitch.
Benny dice.
Now I can mention you can push yourself.
Oh,
If you're in a situation that you
don't-
really want this to be successful, you can
I
take
don't
some
give a
stress
shit.
and
That-
push yourself for an extra dice.
no, I'm giving
No.
Benny an opportunity. I feel like I'm doing him the favor, and if he doesn't want to take advantage
Yeah.
of that, that's on him.
You weren't super into it. You were like, yeah, maybe you can you just took enough pity on him. You're like, you're pathetic.
I was looking
mate."
for an edge. It wasn't there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We don't
I'm
really care
always
if he
looking
runs
for an
away.
edge.
Yeah. He's gonna be like, oh yeah, you know what, I can help, no problem. And when you let him go, he's just gonna make it. He's just
I'll remember you.
Damn.
now
Bye.
for the
Benny can
sake
run.
I am gonna tick off another piece of that clock because
Yeah.
you don't know
Yeah,
where
we
he's
made a
running to. You don't
kerfuffle.
know who he's gonna talk to.
Hmm.
No.
But you are so close to where you need to go. So
Hey.
we are going to we'll do one final roll for Blink's ability to sort of really stop that flow of Leviathan oil from getting everywhere before you manage to make it to your contact in night market.
Yep.
How are you going to be trying to stop that flow?
I am using every bit of. I'm surveying this entire area to make sure I can see what kind of materials are being used, what has broken possibly, if I can quickly salvage one of the other pieces of material to help close it up or stop it, grab anything from just little bits of like cloth if I've got it there. Sorry about this, Tones, but maybe some of the material from the dress I was wearing, whatever it was, whatever
Yeah.
it is, to just
get
actually
more.
stop it from losing as much as I can.
Yeah.
I just quickly, and then whatever way of using my finesse skills to be able to pull it together. I don't know.
Nice.
Would you have any sort of tools on you that might be able to help with plugging these things down? Or do you have had something on you?
I mean,
Being from a shopkeeper, I've been using crates all the time. Basically, I'm in markets and trading all the time. So I've got, like a small knife. I've got his knife, by the way, now. So I just tucked that in.
Yes, incredible.
Which is great. But also just, kind of like I don't know what the version of tape is, whatever it is that we use to kind of like mark things up.
And so using like the
chalk,
dress is like wadding sort of to
Yep.
try and soak it up.
That's it.
Yep.
Wadding,
Yeah,
that
fantastic.
kind of thing to stuff it up, basically. And any of the extra stuff that's in the crates as well, I just move into that particular area. And from my experience as shopkeeper, just to be able to salvage whatever goods I possibly can.
Yeah, cool. So what?
I did try. I started off with surveying my what was around there from my experience.
Yeah, I'd say you've already would have had all that material for it. I'd say you're probably wanting to more do a tinker than anything.
Tinker? I've got one in tinker.
Yeah, to kind of fiddle around with making sure it's going to be accurate.
Okay. I am going to do a devil's bargain because this is such a big deal. My whole life is about smuggling. And I really want to find, I want this to work and I don't want to lose any of this shit. It's like materials is the thing. So I'm putting it out there. If there's any kind of devil's bargain I can make to ensure that this is stop it up and we don't lose anything if possible.
Yeah.
I wonder because you're still like stopping stuff up and you're using up resources, it could be some kind of bargain there. Like you know, you're using
we have no more costume left, kind of thing. We're using any spare rags kind of we can, stuffing them between the bottles.
We don't have any more outfits, sort of thing.
Or even if I run across the road or something at somebody's house and I literally quickly grab some stuff from there. Maybe this as well.
Yeah,
they don't.
Yeah, like maybe like a bucket. Like if there's a bucket of water in someone's front yard, or like a watering pail, watering jug or something like that, just to like wash the oil off the cart and like get it out of the street, so that we're not like tracing oil all through the city and people can track us in a heartbeat, kind of thing.
Absolutely. I'm going to say
we're probably bringing a little too much attention to ourselves.
Yeah. I'm going to say this. Trying to get this done, you're in such a rush and really trying to make sure you're successful at this. It's going to bring some heat onto you. You're going to be raising a lot of attention and being pretty obvious. It means that people are going to know about what you've been doing and that you are around here. So it means that there might be some issues for you in future.
I'm actually doing whatever I can to keep my hood over, my cap and my hood basically as much as possible not to be seen. And I was just going to say, guys, we should leg it from here. Let's get moving.
Yeah, beautiful. I'm not even going to make you roll for that because that's just so much fun from the fiction of it that I really like. I just want to roll with it. It just sounds really fun. Beautiful.
Well,
so
6 hours is not a good place for me now. So,
we're going to add some heat onto you. But after you've patched everything up, you've been able to make it very successfully to night market. You've managed to put everything back together. You've sort of stopped the flow of most of the liquid, and with Tones's with Tones's knowledge of night market, she'd be sort of being able to like, oh yeah, I remember where we are. Yet we're going down this street. Then we're going to go down here, and you're about to find your way to your contact and successfully deliver the payload. Congratulations!
Yay!
So,
woo!
We did it. We didn't blow up. Yay!
We didn't blow up.
We did it. We actually
kept our cool.
Did it.
Yeah. No harm done.
As I brush my bleeding nose. Oh, we fucking did it. Yes. You were awesome.
Yeah. I'll just hand you a little handkerchief to stuff up a nostril.
Oh man, thank you. Oh man, you were so cool up against him. Oh, it's awesome. Oh,
mate,
sorry, appreciate it.
Mate, I've lost my accent. Shit. It just disappeared.
On the scene.
No, you dove right in there. You weren't even worried. I'm bloody impressed. I thought I might have to get in and sort of sock some jaws and things, but you handled, both of you handled very well, I must say. Tones. That was impressive. I took a bit of a sacrifice for us. I mean, both of you taking a hit, and I mean, I know we've known each other for a little while now, but
and one day you'll come to the parties with me.
I mean, we've been talking it off all night. I would like that. No, I truly I would like that. I've always had trouble letting go. You know, I've always been cold and calculating. And look, I think you guys might be healthy for me, and I think we'll be healthy for each other's pockets at least. So,
Tones gives him a huge hug, palms around, bleeding onto his coat.
perfect. Not even phased. Like I almost I see a little patch on his patch leather jacket, and I'm like, I'm just gonna wear that as another as if that had got hooked on a rusty nail.
Yep.
I'm not gonna replace it. So right, do we now end up yeah, we score. So do we end up back at this?
That's the end of the first score,
The
Nice.
Bumble honey.
We did a score.
Honeycomb.
The Bumble Honey.
Yeah.
Bumble honeycomb.
Honey pot
hex
tavern.
Bumble
tavern.
Honey.
Yeah.
Can it be the Bumble Honey?
We bumbled that.
Well, we
our way.
actually the bubble honey. So I'd say
It's just jobs.
if you're headed back to the Honeypot Tavern, you'll be very well rewarded for the job. It's the job well done. You're going to be getting 4 coin, which coin. It's not just four individual coins. What referred to as one coin is essentially like a week's worth of pay. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
So you're getting 4 coin.
Nice.
Because the hive is taking a cut for 4 coin total. So that's for you as a group. That's
huge.
already taking the account of the tax cut basically that the hive will be taking from organizing the job for you.
Good job.
So like we mentioned, we'll be taking a bit of heat from that. So I'd say we're going to be taking 1 heat. There was no killing involved, but you did sort of make a bit of a nuisance in the town, which is going to cause you some issues. It means that the gangs around are really keeping an eye on you, and there's going to be a kind of your names are spread through Doskvol, and they're really aware of you. And then now, like, these people, I've got them on my radar. We're going to keep an eye on what
Benny
they're
was
doing.
someone's brother, and we fucked up.
Yeah, that's going to happen. Yeah.
So, I'm not sure if you wanted to take a quick break before we go into downtime activities and then do
That sounds
the next
perfect.
score.
Maybe a
Perfect
quick
timing.
break would be good. Yeah.
It's 8:20. Do you want to go for 10 minutes? We'll be back in 10 minutes time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We will
Sounds
let
like a
Craigbot
plan.
This is awesome.
take a
I can't
break
wait
as well, because I
for
think
what's
Craigbot
next.
actually dropped out. I need to keep an eye on
Craigbot
it.
dropped out.
Craigbot records our
dropped out
Discord audio
an hour ago.
for everyone. Yeah.
Just a quick peer behind the scenes. Craigbot is our audio recording bot. He's
And,
gone now, so anyone who's watching the
we may have
VOD,
to
you are
use
getting
some
the
of the-
raw audio.
we may have to actually fork out some of the coin we've earned from this enterprise. And, it's a very
More of
low
this.
cost to actually get unlimited recording. So all good. That's too much information. Thank you so far, Ellie. Thank you everyone for joining in. Thank you Bexball for the raid. We're going to be back shortly, so don't go anywhere unless you go to the bathroom and refresh your beverage of choice.
Please.
Lovely humans.
Please get
So
comfortable.
yeah, please be comfortable,
See you soon.
and we will see you soon. We're going to swing back into things.
Straight into it. Yeah.
Straight
Actually, where
back
we
in.
are to give you, thank you. We'll go over the segue actually. Thanks, Jared. Thanks, Thea. Thanks, Elle, our GM. And thank you,
Yeah.
chat. You're out there. Get ready. We're going to call on you for some more Devil's Bargains, I'm sure, in future. If you have some, throw them into the chat.
Yeah.
But right now, we've just managed to have our first part of our introduction to Blades in the Dark. This fantastic steampunk-inspired, gothic, dark, supernatural, gritty role-playing game. Very different, actually, in pace from D&D. But I'm going to stop now. We're going to jump right into it because we've done our first score. We're about to go into downtime.
Probably should just let anyone know who has just joined us. This does touch on quite adult themes. And quite dark adult themes. So, if you are under 18, this probably is not the stream for you. And consider yourselves warned if the makeup doesn't give it away.
Sounds good.
And spooky batshit.
Let's go.
Oh, bat shirt. Back to the bat shirt to let us on. Elle, what happens now?
Fantastic. So, After being really successful at your transport score with the Hive, you've gotten your money. You found out that you're put your name into the ring a little bit. You've got a bit of reputation going for you, which might cause some problems later, but see how we go. I imagine you're all sort of spending your time having a bit of a relax in the Honeypot Tavern. So we're going to be doing some downtime. So between each score, you can do 2 downtime activities, which basically so that you can rest, relax, recover. In the case of longer term games, which one shots aren't really going to be too conducive for it, but you might want to work on working towards getting a new asset or working on a long-term project, something that you would work on between each score, try and do a little bit more information gathering, try and do a bit of tinkering to complete some tasks. So we do have acquire an asset, long-term project, recovery, reducing heat, training to improve upon yourself, and indulging your vice to reduce stress. So you each have 2 activities that you can do. What would you like to do?
2 activities.
I mean, it's kind of writing itself, isn't it?
Is it?
Yes,
I
we've got to
mean-
have a couple of people that have taken some damage.
I mean, I
got
did
some
stab myself
stress.
for fun, literally.
Yeah,
So
a little bit of
I-
stress.
yeah, a little bit of stress, a little bit of harm.
too much.
The harm is fine. Where I'm going to indulge my vice, which is weird. Which, to be fair, I kind of feel I actually did during the score.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
would sort of, if we were wanting to play a longer term game where you'd be developing your characters, those sorts of things would be getting you additional XP towards improving. So if you're sort of playing to your vices,
Yeah. Cool.
you'd
Good
be
to know.
adding XP for that. So
Mhm.
take some XP
some
that
XP.
you won't be using, but
I'm
don't worry
kind of
about it.
liking this character, so maybe we should come back to this game sometime.
Oh, I'd love to. I'd love to.
Yeah.
If you're happy to have me back, I'd be happy to run it.
Oh, careful what you wish for.
We'd love it. Oh, this is
Yeah.
great.
Okay. Alrighty. I'm gonna.
So, just would like to note, I'd like to note that if you do want to indulge your vice, you can overindulge. If you end up rolling more stress, so you're rolling a higher amount than the stress that you have, you will overindulge yourself, and you will then no longer be able to indulge your vice for a while. So perhaps you've overindulged and your vice purveyor has kicked you out, and you're then going to find a new vice. You would then start a long-term project to find a new vice. You might gain some trauma, go on a bender and black out, and then come back with a missing arm, and you're like, oh, what happened to me? So
Safe words.
just be aware of that.
Okay.
I only have 2, but narratively it works.
How do we? How do we indulge in our vice? Because I have 2 stress.
So you're going to roll dice equal to your lowest attribute. So out of the what are they called?
My talents.
What are the 3 thingies called?
Insight, prowess, resolve thingies.
Yes, insight, prowess, resolve. Yes, I keep forgetting the names for those. Yeah, so you roll your roll dice equal to whatever your lowest one is, and then take the resolve.
All right. So I have 1 resolve as my lowest.
So roll a straight roll.
Okay, cool. So my vice is my obligation to my family. I would say, in my downtime, I'm still gonna have to do work for them. This is probably one of my first forays into doing a score outside of the family business and things like that. So making sure that I still show up to family gatherings from duties calling. I still need to show face, be there, and of course, not go spending my newly earned coin and flashing that around as well, so that they don't think that I'm living beyond my means of what they understand me to be capable of. So flat roll.
Yeah, flat roll.
All right. That's a 4.
4. Okay. And how much stress do you have currently?
I have 2.
Oh no.
2. That's a problem.
Mm.
So, okay.
Overindulge.
I would-
Overindulge. Wait, that's a bad
You
thing.
are absolutely overindulging. You're... how do we want to play this that would still be really fun and relevant?
He took me with him to his family function.
Well, I mean, that could be a potential for it. That would be some fun fiction.
Mm.
We or perhaps Tone sort of followed along and he wasn't super
Yeah.
aware of it, and then really made a
Yeah.
nuisance of herself out of it. And
Yeah.
they've a particular part of your family has now said, they were wanting some assistance with a job, and they're like, "How could you be so irresponsible to bring someone like this?
Yeah.
You're out of it until we believe we can trust you again. No more.
Oh
Fend
man.
for yourself." So I'm going to say you're not going to be able to indulge your vice to be able to relieve any more stress from now on
Okay.
until you
no.
find a new outlet, or if you repair these bonds.
Wow.
Okay.
There's always that one
Which
friend.
can be risky later on, because it means that, if you develop too much stress later on, you might take on some trauma if you're not able to relieve that stress.
Okay. Cool.
Mm.
So, any other downtime activities from you or from anyone else? You have the option of 2 each, but it's up to you. You don't have to take them.
Well, I'm actually not going to heal myself. I'm wearing it as a bit of a badge of honor because it's like, got it done.
Interesting.
And so I've actually got it looks like a slightly broken nose now as well.
Yeah.
And it hurts a bit to breathe at the moment. But anyway, I actually want to reduce the heat that's come down.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
My whole life is dedicated to not being noticed. So that's fucked up. So I'm doing something to just...
What are you doing to reduce that heat?
Well, I mean, if I can lean a little bit on the fact that we did such a great job for the hive, and just say, look, we did get a bit of our names out there, and I want to do good work for you as well. Like, and the best way we can do work is not being noticed. So if there's any way we can use some of our contacts over there in 6 Towers just to say, you're just talking garbage. Those people, they were nothing. That was nothing. Nothing to worry about. Just a few little crims or something going around.
It's doing a bit of schmoozing, bit of consorting, perhaps.
Absolutely. I'm not great at consorting yet. I'm okay, but I want to build on that because I really want to build that reputation. So I'm trying
easy.
that.
Yeah, go for it. Roll for the consort.
I've got 1, so it's a straight single die roll.
Straight roll, correct.
Yeah.
Can I push it?
Ooh.
I'm really working at it.
Yeah,
So
all right. You can push yourself. So you've got to incur some stress.
Okay.
So you can take 2 stress for that.
I'll take 2 stress, and here we go.
The sound of dice.
5.
Hey!
I'll go the other one. 5 and 4. I'll go the 5.
5 and a 4. Yeah, fantastic. So for reducing your heat, if we've got a 5, so we're reducing. You're able to reduce 2 heat. You've only got 1. Your heat's out.
Yay!
You manage to sort of work on your contacts and be like, there's... Oh, they said blink. No, it's link, not blink. Stupid.
Link and Zelda. Link
Yeah,
and Zelda.
yeah,
They
yeah.
are seriously bad
else.
news. Yeah.
I'm really cocky now, and I'm coming across them as well. Yeah, we're good now.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's like, we blow straight through. They didn't even know us. It's like that the Simpsons movie where they just like update the drawing of like the one poster. You're like, silly.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Sweet.
fantastic.
Cool.
Anyone else?
Next score.
Do you want to jump into the next score?
Yeah.
I think that would be
we
an
go
awesome
straight into
idea.
it.
Let's go.
Fabulous, wonderful. So
Among mates is in his own little world in the chat, by the way. It's amazing. All right, score it. Wait, what?
So we've gone through. We've done this first score, and Jira has decided that she trusts you enough to give her a bit of help. She knows some people around that the hive would normally provide a bit of assistance too, but she can't really spare the manpower at the moment. So she's like, okay, I've got someone that's been wanting to need some help with something big. It's going to involve a bit of tact, and it's going to be a bit of a well, I mean, depending on how you decide to do it.
Mhm.
But I've got a contact for you to go and visit. She'll be able to give you the details. So if you want to head over to her and get a bit more of that information. So she's going to send you out to the docks, where
Mhm.
you've got we'll put you onto our docks map as well. So
Docks,
we can
docks,
just
docks.
little,
Sweet.
there we go. So
Hey.
heading out to the docks. And they've got docks are kind of littered. There's lots of working class, lots of people coming and going. There's also a couple of taverns. You've been there already before, so you're a little bit more acquainted with the area. You've got the inky, thick black oceans that are lapping up at the jetties, and I'm sure that I was going to say the sound of seagulls, but I'm not sure what horrible monstrosities would be sort of screeching in the background. So you'd probably hear some like
Koalas when they're
bellowing.
fighting.
Yeah, just like
That sound. Yeah.
going on in the background, and it's totally normal. Nobody even
Yeah.
thinks about it.
Yeah, it's fine.
So you'll be directed into one of the taverns there. It's just a basic one where people, the equivalent of like a industrial area corner shop where the tradies will go in, get their lunch, and head out. You're headed in to visit a woman named Charlie Boone. She's a Sclavan woman, so people of Sclavan heritage would be able to point her out a little bit easier.
Okay.
So you sort of you're having an eye around. You'll be able to sort of see her seated up towards the back. She's got some food and sort of a half-empty jug of ale with her, and she's by the candlelight. She's scribbling on a bit of paper. She's got some charcoal in her hands, and she's sort of scribbling a bit of paper, and she'll sort of like wipe her face and smears a bit of charcoal on her. As she's got this big, huge bird's nest of ginger hair. It's all sort of frizzy and everywhere, and she's got a what are they called, bandana, sort of barely containing it behind her face. She's a labourer. She's brawny. Doesn't look particularly healthy. No one in Duskmore does. But you can tell she does a lot of work with her hands, which is surprising to see that the drawings she's doing are quite intricate. It's not something you would really expect. And you can sort of see she's sort of like sketching out some really interesting symbols and runes, something that Tones you might be sort of
I was going to
peeking
say
over her
Tones,
shoulder and being like,
absolutely. Peeking over her shoulder and playing with her hair, just like.
just like, can I help you? What are you doing?
Your hair's so beautiful. Like this texture is amazing.
Tones.
You better get your hands off me, or
Tone it down a little for now. We
Tone
don't
it
know
down
her
because
yet.
that's funny.
I know I have to. Yeah.
Yeah, you're funny.
Tones, you can call me Blink. So
I know you, Blink. We've been together for ages. Oh my gosh.
I'm talking to the lady here who I believe is named Charlie Boone, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah, how do you know that? Who told you?
The Queen of the Hive sent us to give you some aid if you need it.
Oh, Hive. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, I've been waiting for someone to give me a bit of a hand. It's a bit of a timely manner. Yeah, and she sort of dusts her hands off. She's like, Charlie Boone, lovely to meet you. And she'll sort of like cover your hands in grime from all the ship work she's been doing and the bits of charcoal. It's you as much as you try to avoid it, you sort of wipe it off. It really sticks around. It really gets in the crevices, whatever kind of grime she's got on her hands.
I add it to the front so that can be hidden more. Yeah. This is Kit.
Yeah,
he's our good doc, good wrecker friend as well. It's going to be obvious. And
lovely to meet you. Oh,
what?
He's very strong.
I've really need to help you. I'm not sure how much the mistress really told you about my situation. I'm sure you would have heard of the master painter Raffaello. He's he's does all the occult artworks, and
Ooh,
you
okay.
would have known him, right? He's so famous. Surely there's no way you wouldn't be able to heard of him.
Have
Do
we heard
we
of him?
know him? Yeah.
Depends. I'd say most of you probably would have. You'd know that anyone who's in a anyone who knows anything about artwork or the
Tones.
cost it would
Tones will
be.
know.
Mm.
Yeah.
Um, think of it
Surprisingly,
as
Tones
like
has an in-depth knowledge of like the art scene.
he he sort of think of him like a Pollock or Salvador Dali. He's like
Oh yeah.
super well known. He knows that he goes through all these
Oh,
sorts of phases with his artwork, and he's really well known for quite disturbing occult
Oh yeah,
themed
Tones is an
art.
absolute fan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
exceptional. He uses lots of combinations of different materials, and they're really huge, elaborate, and they sell for so much money.
Nice.
So much money, which I think Lincoln Kit would probably know more than anything about the amount of money you'd be getting from moving
Oh,
some cargo like this.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, like I think you're in the same ballpark as me. We're like a little bit apprehensive at the idea. Hang on,
Yeah.
hang on. Like,
This is,
Well,
yeah, is this a
anyway, I think we need
heist?
more, yeah, a bit more information, perhaps.
Can I
yeah, look,
actually real quick? Tones would be really fascinated by what she was drawing because you mentioned that it was like a cult type stuff. Can I do some kind of check to see if I recognize that or if it rings a bell of some of the like
yeah,
conspiracy theories and stuff that I've been following up on?
absolutely, yeah. Do a roll for that. See if
I
you can
feel like
kind of
it's a
identify.
study. I'm going to study what she was looking
Yeah,
at because I've got 2
absolutely.
spots in that.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so that's how many dice is that? Sorry, I'm
If you got 2 dots, then you roll 2 dice, take the highest result.
nice. Alrighty.
Sweet.
It's only a 4.
Yeah, four's all right.
Yeah.
Success.
She kind of
Complication.
sees you looking and just sort of like grabs her fingers. You're not quite certain of what it is, but you do
Mhm.
know that it is something genuinely creepy and occult. It's not just some random scribblings that kind of look a bit spooky. There's definitely an air of it. You can feel almost like an aura coming from the scribblings that she's doing. And you'll notice that she's doing them rather subconsciously. She's even when she's talking to you, her hand is still kind of just scribbling these symbols and these runes.
Okay.
But you don't know what they are. They seem probably too ancient for anything that you might have been able to read about or get your hands on.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, the Dean dog has thoughts.
Doesn't like it.
Probably the other 2. So Kit and Buddy, it's okay. Kit and Blink would probably notice that Tones abruptly sharpens and seems very much more present than normal.
Yeah.
She picks up on this. I'm just going to mute while I have a dog that is having some thoughts.
Okay.
So she's kind of gonna be like, all right. Look, you would have heard of his paintings, but look, truthfully is he's a fraud. He doesn't do any of his artwork. It's not
You
done
don't
by him.
say. Who done it then?
He's had a whole lot of different artists, and I've been the last one. I've done some art for him for about 6 months now. So the last couple of artworks, you might see my most recent one. Was bloody huge, and it had all the thing with the tentacles and its mouth, and it was all, you would have seen that, right? Or maybe heard of it. It was in the paper. But anyway,
Yeah.
it
I
was.
saw that.
He's an absolute fraud, and look, I was happy to just be the artist behind the man, but you see, he was supposed to pay me for it, but his most recent one, he hasn't bloody paid me for. He got me to do all this work, and he was very specific about it, and he got me all this. He got me this Leviathan blood, and he told me that I had to include it in the art, and in some runes, and I haven't been able to stop thinking about these runes. And I'm looking up, she's just like pulls out all these pages of like bits of paper with various scrawlings of all these runes. She's like, I can't stop drawing them, and he hasn't even paid me for it. If he was supposed to have paid me enough that I was able to retire and go back to my family, and take all my family to Scotland, and we would have I'd be able to get out of this bloody city. But he hasn't paid me. All right. You see where this is a problem, don't you?
Right, you are.
Yeah.
It's no good though.
So
is it you want
look,
you want money from him?
You want revenge?
You're not feeling yourself?
get me the artwork, get me the money.
Oh.
What? Just ruin his reputation. I don't care. Whatever you have to do, I want him to rue the day that he crossed me. Whatever you've got to do about it. If you can get me artwork or if you can get me money out of him, no problem. But I doubt you'll be able to get anywhere close
How
to him
much
anyway.
he be owing you then? What did he promise you?
20 coin.
Oof.
That's a lot of coin for artwork.
And that's before the auction. You see, he's auctioning it this weekend. He's going to be he's taking it over to that gallery. You know the one over a bloody Silk Shore, where they got all them artists and all the spooky people taking over that special gallery. Where Mr. Mr. Skurlock, the people call him a town vampire, but not sure how much I believe about that. I think he's just a bit of a creepy old gentleman. He owns this little gallery, and he always likes to have a big display of these creepy little artworks and sculptures and bits and bobs that come across from the aisles. But he's going to be displaying my artwork, and he's going to be profiting off it. And I think that's a bit bullshit, don't you?
Damn right.
An artist like yourself, oh my gosh, talent is so beautiful and should be respected.
Damn right, you should be respected.
I mean, I just have curious. These runes, were you ever drawing things like this before, or only since you've done this painting?
Well, I've had a bit of an affinity for this kind of stuff. You know, I grew up out of Duskwall, but you know, it's a bit wild. It's family sort of, you know, the families were sort of interested in some of that occult stuff, so I knew a bit about it. I knew enough
get
to
more
put
and
some
more
but
interesting.
And
he's leaning like uncomfortably close.
And she kind of goes, look, I haven't. It's compulsive. I can't stop myself, and I can't stop thinking about it. And it's, you know, it's ruining my work. I find that I'm trying to be doing stuff, and then suddenly I'm just scratching some things in the timber, and it will all be worth it if I just had a bit of money, or even I could just see that fucker pay for it. You know what?
You know what? I think it would be so much fun if we helped you, but maybe you could try giving into those impulses sometimes.
Yeah. Just on that, I mean,
once we know where we stand.
Let's have a think of that. Have a think of that as one thing, but also, I mean, this sounds like he's a pretty well-known dude, and it's like if you want him to be, you know, brought down of some way, it sounds a little risky. I mean, anything. I mean, we want to help. I mean, we're going to need some help to do that.
Oh, don't worry. I've got money. I've got enough that I can pay you well. I can give you 10 coin. I've been saving it. That's for the last 6 artworks I've been doing. I've gotten a couple coin each time, but this one was the big one. This was supposed to give me, and that was 20 coin before the bloody auction. He was just going to pay it out of his own pocket. He'd be giving me a couple coin for each one, but this one's the big one. You understand?
Okay.
Right.
Guys,
I've got enough.
Guys. Shh. It's like puts a hand over. Guys, come here. This might be it. This, not you. Puts a hand on your face and pushes away.
Oh, sorry. Oh.
Guys.
I'm sorry about
this. Could be it. This could be the secret that we've been searching for so long. This could be the key. We have to do this job.
What secret?
The job. I've told you about this.
Kate, what?
The secret. This could be the
Oh.
key. We have
I
to do this job. You don't understand. We have to
Oh,
do this
No, you're
job.
right. We
beginning.
don't. What?
I'm looking at Kit very
I mean, I'm
concerned.
agreeing, but I don't think we're agreeing for the same reasons.
But
Well,
we're going to do the job, right?
I'm keen. I
Okay,
just
good.
want
We'll
to
help
work
you.
out. Whoa. Let's talk.
Really? You will?
Of course. Can I touch your hair again?
Well, I mean,
Hey,
if you have to, I suppose you are giving me a hand. You can.
yeah, go with it. It doesn't.
Both hands.
So
I imagine
the
it's
thing
like
is,
kitty paws
Yeah,
just
yeah,
messed up.
kitty kind of
Just
like.
while that's
It's
happening,
real springy. You're just like.
Yeah. Oh, it's the best. It goes around behind. It's just like completely entranced now.
we just start talking business while she's doing that. That's
Yeah.
it. Like,
This is not the
Okay.
first time that has happened.
no.
No.
So it looks like we could take the art. That'll be its own risk, but it's a thing, and that means if it disappears or someone else gets it, that's going to piss off this Skurlock guy as well, which sounds like he's got a bit of influence and maybe a bit freaky. There's that. But the guy himself, Raffaello, I mean, you want him to pay. So is it more like if we got stuff from his place, would that be a better idea?
Well, it's more so that I think if his reputation gets ruined, he can't do any future work with any other artists. It means
Yeah.
that no one else will have to go through the same things I've done, or for anyone else. Because to be honest, I don't even know who the other artists were and what happened to them. They just disappeared off the planet, basically. So, and I don't want that to happen to me. I want to be the last.
No.
And if you can expose him for the fraud he is, or even just steal the artwork, I'm sure that the mistress at the honeypot will be able to know someone that she'll be able to pawn it off for. So
I have one
extra.
question though. I'm not so well versed in all that artsy stuff, but I understand a labor of love. You've put a lot of time into this, and unfortunately, my modus operandi, as it would be, I like to see things destroyed. I think there's a beauty in that. That's my artwork, is the destruction of things. I wouldn't want to
beauty in
step on any
destruction.
toes, but a public display of this artwork going up in flames before the auction sells.
Would you be
might be,
okay with that?
I wouldn't be opposed to it. It's.
I had to
I'll
run
be
it by you
quite honest,
first because I wouldn't want
I
to
don't know what some of the
disrespect your
runes
work.
are that he made me put in there, but there was something. Whilst I'm
Mhm.
proud of it, there was something wrong about it, and I don't know. The
That's what I
entire
was
time I
feeling
was working
too.
on this artwork, I was getting nightmares, and like I said, I can't stop drawing these bloody runes, and
Yeah. Okay.
it's
Certain
just
darkness about this, and if it's not the
Destroy-
first, I think
absolutely
we should be
Destroying
the
it sounds
last.
like a possibility. Okay.
Right.
I've got enough money that I can still go back home. I won't be as well off, but it's better than being bloody here. So and I'll still be able to pay you. I was hoping that I'll be able to retire at my young age, so help my bones. But I can get a bit more work back home as long as I've got a bit of extra money. I don't have to scrounge for some sour bread or jelly deals.
I feel like there might be an overall cathartic sort of nature to this as well. Tell us a bit more about this piece you've actually done. You said you're a multi-medium artist. What are we talking about here? You mentioned timber and charcoal and things. What else? And you also mentioned the Leviathan blood.
Leviathan blood. That was the one that got me.
Yeah. What was this? A drawing, a painting, a collage, a scrapbook? What are we talking about?
Yeah, so she'll explain to you that this the last artwork that she worked on, it was a huge painting, and it's multifaceted and textured, and it does include the Leviathan blood as sort of like a mixing medium for the paint Instead of like what you
Cool.
would normally mix with oils, she was used the Leviathan blood with it.
Mhm.
And all of the artworks she's done previously, and as she understands, the other artists that have worked with Raffaello were sort of told to include certain things or to work to a certain specification. So whether it was some previous ones have been sculptures, some previous ones have been other paintings. In her case, she's a painter. She uses her preferred medium. But she'll include some, whatever the hell goes on the canvas with a brush, she's fine with, or a charcoal. The painting itself is of a leviathan, and it's leviathan are known to be huge, and so of course the painting itself is a gigantic.
Okay.
It's several meters across. Like it's probably, I'd say, maybe 20 meters wide,
Dope.
something like that. It's
Wow,
huge. It's a
huge.
really, really big painting.
That's
Yep.
what I was kind of thinking.
There's like, where they kind of have at fancy galleries, or they'll have sort of like a whole wall for like the canvas draped down onto it.
Mm.
Basically, yeah.
It's like street art size. Like it could just be a
Yeah.
whole side of a building.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. So it gets sort of like rolled up, it's like down.
Yeah.
And
Carried by like 3 different people, all walking along.
yeah, basically. And the gallery hosts a whole bunch of other occult oddities, not just artwork, but other oddities and things like that. It's almost like a kind of combination museum gallery thing. And the artwork is supposed to be displayed there for like a private party and auction shortly.
Cool.
That sounds
Cool.
pretty big. Mm-hmm.
So it feels like we're taking the job.
Yeah,
Cool.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I think we can help you out.
Okay. So I say that we're probably going into our engagement role then. Fabulous.
Yay.
So,
We're in.
how are you going to approach this situation? So I'll just remind you, we've got assault, deception, stealth, occult, social, and transport. So assault is doing violence to a target, deception is lure, tricking, or manipulating, stealth is trespassing unseen, occult is engaging a supernatural power to basically do some work for you, social is negotiating, bargaining, or persuading, and transport is carrying cargo. I think transport maybe not the relevant one, but the other ones you can all sort of.
I feel it's a stealthy approach of whatever we're going to doing, and I think character motivation wise, there's going to be some disagreement, perhaps down the track of what we do once we get there.
Cool.
But that's fine.
I did notice that that you were very quiet in that last part when we were talking about destroying it. So yeah, I'm aware.
Oh, Tones wasn't paying any attention. Tones was completely obsessed with this woman's hair. So as far as she's concerned, you are going in to steal this. That's what her head belief is.
Yeah, she's decided.
Yeah, she's decided, and clearly everybody else agrees with her. That's how the world works. But I feel it's a stealthy thing.
I might be noticing that, and noticing very clearly also that that Kit is thinking something else, and I'm just wary of this. But anyway, getting there. If the stealth, I agree. Yeah. I think we're going to have to. I wouldn't mind surveying the area just first, and just to check what's going on, just to see, who knows, ins and outs, that kind of thing. People, maybe contacts we could find, ways in. The occult side of it, I mean,
there's definitely occult stuff. Like, I think that Tones is going to be sort of reaching out to sort of her contacts to find out more once we look at that engagement role.
I want to know more about this Ravolo guy as well. He's new to me.
Yeah.
If we can expose him more than we know about him.
Exactly. Like, there's one thing to destroy his latest piece. It's another, like, I don't see how that either exposes him as a fraud unless we could burn that down and have a, a picture of him paying off an artist, you know, like where, like, obviously I'm thinking a bit more modern, like we skulk it out and we catch him in the act with the freaking
Get the cameras and stuff.
camera
Yeah.
and, on a stakeout, you know,
Well,
whatever that equivalent is.
I've
I mean,
got a different idea when it comes to the exposing.
Mm.
And you see my eyes, I'm looking a little bit shaky as I'm saying this.
You don't
And,
like what you're thinking.
As I look
Mm.
over at our friend here, into Tones, what if we found out what happened to at least one of the other artists, if they
Good
were
shout.
bumped off or something, and if you managed to get them to revenge on this art?
Oh, I love that.
Mm.
I mean, that could be amazing. But
I mean, that's
I mean,
100%
dangerous.
Tones' deal.
Yeah.
I'm looking,
Like,
I'm just looking at it now. I
down,
know dangerous, but
expose bad
it will
people.
expose him if it appears and destroys it, and then says he's a fraud. It was my
Oh,
work.
absolutely, we can destroy him in public and everyone can see.
What-
So much fun.
I have no idea
Alright,
how
so-
we'd have to get in there.
We're
we
kind of
gotta get
getting
there
into some additional planning stuff, which we want to lean away from.
But we do
We can do
that.
we can do flashbacks. We can do
Yeah.
flashbacks.
Yep.
Flashbacks.
It's okay.
I like that.
Flashbacks.
Let's
Okay.
go.
Yep.
We did it already.
Yeah.
You did it
Yeah.
already. Don't worry about it. It's sorted.
Yeah, it's fine.
We're so
From the
deep.
sounds of it, you're kind of going for like the stealth kind of perspective.
Yeah.
Feeling very
So
stealth.
wanting to like sneak your way into the gallery kind of thing. Is that what you're thinking?
I think
Yeah.
that's what we want to do.
And whatever we
Yeah.
choose to
Yeah.
do with it by that point,
Mhm.
we can do it once we're sneaked in. What do you guys
Yeah.
think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a sneaky
So
thing.
we want to find the missing detail is the point of infiltration. So
Yeah.
how are you actually going to get in? What point are you like sneaking? Are you going to sneak through a back door? Are you going to go through a window? Are you going to pretend to be someone?
I mean, if
How
we're
are
not,
you sort of
if
get
we're
away
not abseiling through the skylight, the ceiling windows, I'm gonna be slightly disappointed. Not gonna lie.
oh yeah.
Can we-
I'm actually doubling that up because this is exactly the way I'd want to get in, like through
Uh-huh.
a window or above or sneaky way that no one would think of going in.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh. Tones is for that, but also would love to be a distraction to help you do that
So
by presenting herself as an artwork.
Oh,
Okay,
Kinda-
so you're gonna split the party and you're gonna go into two
you're
different
gonna
points.
duct tape
Oh,
Oh
yourself
no,
to a wall.
is that too annoying?
No, you
We're
can
gonna duct tape
absolutely
you to
go
a
in
wall.
through two different points.
This is
Yeah.
what I'm thinking. Like, you know, the Cruella, the latest movie where you turn the dump truck and you like just completely usurp somebody else's artistic work with your own kind of ego. I feel like that is a Tones thing to do, but would also help these guys sneak in.
So
do you
is
guys
Tones
think?
the dump truck or the garbage?
I mean, both really.
Depends who you ask.
What do you guys think? Like,
As a distraction, like look over
yeah,
here
as a
while we're
distraction.
doing our
Yeah, and
thing.
you guys sneak in.
You could
Sure.
be another living art piece or something.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay. See if they get drawn
Easy.
to it for a second.
Yeah.
I'll
Um,
say if that's the way you want to go about it, I'll say that because you're kind of doing that two-pronged approach. It's still a risky position, but I'll improve your effect. I'm going to say that
Mhm.
you'll have a bit more effect with it. So, depending on what our engagement role outcome is, it's still risky, but you're going to be a little bit more successful about it. Even if it kind of goes to shit, it'll still be less shit than it could have been if you were all just both. All three of you were smashing through a
Go
window,
team.
or all three of you were coming out into
Go
the
team. I do love things a little bit less shit.
That shit is good.
Everyone does.
That's the standard we
Beautiful.
aim for. A little bit.
Yeah,
less
it's good.
shit.
You know, aim, dream big, people. A little bit less shit.
That's it. That's it.
All right.
That's it.
Let's go to
Right.
our engagement roll.
Sweet.
1D for sheer luck.
Woohoo.
Is this operation particularly bold or daring? I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Is this operation overly complex or contingent on many factors? I wouldn't say it's very complex. You're sort of coming through the front door and through the skylight. It's fair enough. Does the
Avoiding
plan's detail
any
expose a
trap.
vulnerability on the target or hit them where they're weakest? I would say so.
I mean,
You're kind
yeah.
of
we're going for his
Oh.
ego.
trying to intentionally to
Yeah.
you might be Yeah, I'm going to add a die. Is the target strongest against this approach? You are on his turf.
Mhm.
So I'd say it's, you know,
Ooh,
you,
there's a
you,
thought.
As I
you're
thought.
He's
kind
got a
of getting him
thought.
into his.
He's got a thinking
yeah.
face on.
No, waiting for
Yeah.
L. Waiting for L. I'm waiting for L.
Mhm.
We'll go to, can any of your friends or contacts provide any aid or insight that might be able to help you?
Yeah, I have
Oh.
a rival,
Oh,
and he's a locksmith.
Mhm.
okay.
And I've heard he's done some business for some of those arty farties down in, Silks. And so I want to see if I can challenge him with like giving me some, whatever details they have on that down there. But I know he's a bit of a rival because he's a bit of competition. He's also trying to get big scores. So yeah, I'll have a chat to him, see what he knows.
Okay.
Because
I'll give you a die for it, but when we come across anything related, I'm going to say it's going to be a lower, more desperate position and effect for you. If we need to do any rolls in future
Okay.
that involve this, because you're not friendly with him, so it would take a lot of effort to be able to convince him to be really on your team.
He's such a shit.
Could I?
Yeah.
So, because this is a little bit occult and he's trying to play into that and potentially is a fraud, I've got a whole bunch of supernatural contacts.
Mhm.
And could I kind of lean into them, given that, in previous escapades, they've helped me out by making things a little freaky and they don't like when people are non-genuine. So I've got like a demon friend and a possessor ghost friend and a vampire friend. Could I sort of hit them up and say I'm really wanting to cause some trouble, and I think it would be a lot of fun for them if they were to assist or at least watch?
Okay. So are you wanting information for them, or are you wanting them to help you with the score
I think
itself?
I'm wanting them to help me.
Okay.
Yeah,
think
and I'll
we're-
figure
I
out in
think we're
flashback
talking-
how that is.
Yeah.
Not just
Yeah,
flashback,
okay,
but
I'll give you that.
maybe flash mob vibes. Just
Yeah,
bit of a
yeah.
bit of a
possessor
real
goes
distraction.
jumping. A possessor goes jumping between patrons.
That's
How cool would that
Cause
be?
a bit of havoc.
Yeah. As
Cool.
I arrive with
He's
my
a fraud.
garbage
He's a
truck,
fraud.
with my Doskful garbage truck version.
Awesome. Anyone else that would be able to provide any aid or insight?
I mean, I have Valeris as a contact, a spy that I'm close with. Would love to see if they can help us with any information about what has happened to these other artists. I think reaching out to them and being like, put your ear to the ground. What can we what can we sort of know about where these people have gone, what they were asked to do, things like that? Did all of the previous artworks involve the same symbol? Like, I don't know how deep that information can go, but like just finding out, did they all contain Leviathan blood? Things like that.
Yeah. I reckon we'll, instead of adding an extra die to the operation for that, I reckon we'll do a roll. You can do a roll now with your contact and see if they can maybe provide any additional information before you actually go into everything. So are you going to get them to sort of survey the fellow, or sort of do like a bit of a PI kind of investigation on him?
Yeah, for sure.
Easy.
Would survey or hunt be?
I'm actually going to
Could
do a
say
fortune roll for that.
Hunt down the
So you're friendly with them.
fortune.
You're friendly with them, so I'm going to give you. I'm going to do 2d6, and you can take the highest result, because they'll be pretty happy to assist you with that.
All right, let's get it.
So you're sort of wanting to find out if the finding out where the artists have been and what's happened to them, is it like, or
Yeah, like I think if there was one
contracts were?
specific goal, I think leaning into what Blink was saying with bringing some sort of evidence that would say, if they've been swept under the rug, if they've been taken out of the picture, if they've been, medicated and put in a hospice or something, like whatever it is, just being like, hey, this person's now a vegetable, has been put in a mental institution because of the shit that they were asked to do. Here's evidence of them being a fantastic artist, and hopefully people will put the pieces together and that sort of thing. So if I could try and track someone down that I could actually bring, not just find a tombstone or a gravestone.
A living person, not a ghost. I mean, ghost is fine too.
6 and a 4.
Oh
Yes.
wow,
Yay,
that's
awesome.
Six.
Yeah, you've absolutely, your contact they were really on their A game at that day. They were able to go out, do a lot of surveillance. They actually snuck in to Raffaello's private residence. And were able to go through his documents. They sort of sorted through his documents. There were, and lots of things were locked away, and they didn't want to cause too much of a ruckus. But they were able to find some ledgers that detailed the different artists' names and the work that they'd done for him, and how much he'd pay them, and what specifications the artworks were done for. And whilst they weren't able to find out if he did anything to them, they did follow up on the other artists based on that ledger and sort of see, where are they now kind of search.
Where are they now?
Ancestry.com.
And it was a struggle for them initially because they didn't seem to be in Duskfold anymore. At least not from a first look. Families didn't know where they were. Following up with the families, they sort of found out that the family members sort of started doing this little covert thing. They said, all right, we've got some money that coming in, has got to do a little job. And then slowly they would stop coming home, and they would be sort of up in their basements, up in their attics, or down in their
Up
basements.
in their basements. I like up in their basements. They're all up in their basements.
All up in their basements.
Sort of scrolling, and they'd be muttering to themselves and doing the whole string across bits of paper, but it's like all just seemed to be connecting complete gibberish, at least to your contact. They were like, it just seems to be gibberish across different things. And it seemed to basically drive them mad. And some of them had then been put into prison because, unfortunately, there's no sort of asylum or psychiatric wards in Duskfold. They kind of just get put into prison, and it really isn't a nice place to be. They don't get treated well, and your contact wasn't able to get in to see them because it's a closed off government area. But they do know that they're still in there, but they're in really high protection, and they're basically making no sense constantly. And anyone who wasn't going into the prison they sort of ran away from their homes and would be wandering the streets. People would sort of see them wandering the streets for a couple of days, and then suddenly their bodies would turn up. They would have made their way down into the sewers, and they'd be coming up covered in gouges and scratches, looks like human fingernails, and sort of ripped parts of their bodies. And you'll find that whilst the sewers are kind of just, mostly self-maintaining, you would have noticed for a while that there hasn't been much maintenance down there. You haven't seen any maintenance crews, and there's been a lot of warnings and information saying not to journey into the sewers.
The union have put some notices out there for their people.
So evidently there's something going on down in those sewers, and your contact was like, I love you, mate, but I'm not going that far. But I know that the people that those artists, they either went mad and got into prison, or they went mad and ended up dead down in the sewers. But they were able to procure that ledger of information for you, which hopefully provides some support.
Good research.
Amazing.
Very cool.
Right.
Nice
Great.
research.
Lots of stuff with it.
Good
Love
research.
That was
Love it.
awesome. Yeah.
Love a 6.
Now, any enemies or rivals interfering in the operation? I'm gonna say no. You reduced your heat, didn't you? So yeah, don't you have any enemies or rivals doing that? Fantastic. Is there any other elements that we might want to consider? tier, location, anything else that we could maybe get into it? Yes, Blink. What
No,
have we
I
got?
think we're fine. I don't think there's anything else at all.
Nah,
Yeah, no, it's
I
okay.
can't
Oh,
think
no, it's all
of.
good. Let's go.
Oh,
Let's
his
go.
camera,
Let's
his
go.
Can't
camera
hear
glitched out.
you
It's fine. It's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, it's fine. I can't
You're
see
the
his person.
youngest.
Oh my god, and he's muted as well.
Ah.
I know I'm the youngest,
Whoops.
but come on.
Oh, ouch! All
I'm the
right.
youngest, but come on. It's like, give me a
Not by much.
break. Give me a break.
Yeah, all right. Go
I've
ahead,
got a really
Mugman.
good thing to say. I was like, I'm just thinking that with my infiltration abilities here, I'm thinking we may be able to bypass security measures pretty well. I'm just going to survey ahead of time if I can and just see what I can do to ensure and get the best out of my special abilities there. That's it.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll let you do a roll to survey ahead of time as well as a little bit
Okay.
of preparation because you are sort of trying to find out the defenses and the point of ingress and scope that out. So yeah, do a
I
roll for that.
have 2 in survey.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Very cool.
okay. 1 and 3.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh no.
yeah.
Can I push it?
Yeah, absolutely. So you take 2 stress and add an extra
Uh-huh.
die.
Okay.
How's your
That's my
stress
first
going?
stress. I think that's
Oh, is
my
that your
first.
first stress?
So I got hurt before, but
Yes.
But you didn't get
I didn't
stressed.
take
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
stress.
The youth
Okay.
don't get stressed.
The youth don't get stressed. They don't
No.
care enough.
I haven't got any responsibilities. No. Here we go. 5.
Yes, love
Well
it.
done.
Fantastic.
Nice.
So
Well done.
Sweating.
Yeah.
Like
So
looking.
you'll have checked out the exterior of the gallery and really scoped it out and had a look around the building. And you do notice that there is a fantastic skylight for you to be able to upsell your way into.
Yes.
That it is
Nice.
separate to the rest of the gallery, so you know that there'll be some sort of you're not going to be just abseiling directly into the middle of the gallery right next to
Everybody's
all the
there.
patrons, and it's like so
That's what I was hoping for.
you know it is you're abseiling into an upper level. You do find that there is some security precautions though. You aren't able to see the exact details of it from your perception. Think of it the same way as, like, you know, if someone's got a pin code, they sort of cover it up, and you're like, I know that there's a pin code to get in there, but I don't know what the pin code is. But you would have heard of ghost locks, which are certain types of mechanisms and alarms that use tortured souls basically to almost provide like the computer of it essentially. And it's they're not collected in a very I would say they aren't donated willingly because, you know, who would?
There is a significant lack of consent here.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's so mainstream that it's kind of overlooked. People just don't really think about where they come from.
The convenience is
like,
just so easy to look past it.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I get my meat from the fridge section in Coles. I don't need to remember that it comes from an animal.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it.
What is talking about?
Yeah,
This is the kind of thing that really riles Tones up, though. Like that she has some fundamental
concerns with.
Yeah.
Objections.
Yes.
So you do know that there is some sort of ghost alarm lock system. So that when if you breach the external of the building, there is going to be an alarm. It is a delayed alarm, so you do have time to be able to turn it off. Because you can see that there's certain people will go in and go inside and do some stuff to turn the alarms off. And just from your knowledge with infiltration, you kind of know that that's sort of the way it works from the look of it. There are another couple of exits as well. There's the main one, you know, aside from your main entry and exit to the gallery itself, there is a back sort of loading dock area, which you do see it has some sort of complex like ghost-driven lock for it that can be overridden or just force your way through it and run away real fast. But you know, you can make your way. You can go across that when you get to it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Fine.
Alrighty. So,
Very happy with
Yee,
that.
let's go.
Are we
How
ready
many
for our
dice?
engagement
How
roll?
many dice? How many dice do you got?
Yeah.
How many dice do
We
you
have
got?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice.
Woo! Let's go.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
I don't
cool.
like that face. That face does not say all sixes. No.
We had-
Well, it wasn't 2 sixes.
We had 3 2s,
Oh,
Mm.
a 4, and a 5.
Mhm.
So we're
Hey.
taking the 5 as our
Yay,
highest
we are
result.
taking the 5. Thank
Thank
you.
God.
Mm.
So
I mean, failure is also
um,
fun.
we'll cut straight to our team going in through the skylight.
Mhm.
You've headed through and you've managed to sort of climb your way up the building and get your epic and really unnecessary abseiling gear to just smash through the window and
Oh, absolutely necessary. Absolutely necessary.
Because the vibes count.
Kit, mate, loving this. All right.
and simultaneously we've got Tones causing enough of a kerfuffle at the front to be able to sort of overcome the sound of the glass shattering, which we'll get to what she's doing in a moment.
Mhm.
So you've headed in and you smashed through the window and you've landed straight into the building, and like you kind of expected, you can hear the tone of the ghost alarm sort of whirring up. You can sort of hear it. It's a tortured soul. You can sort of kind of you hear a like a it's like almost like a person just like.
Can I bring a backstory into this right now?
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, in the lead up to this and learning from the surveying I did of the ghost locks, when I chatted with my rival friend, the locksmith, I challenged him to try and find a way and show me how he would get through a ghost lock, because I doubt anyone can.
I don't
I've heard
think it can be done.
It's not possible, let
he-
alone by you.
And it's like, I'm sure I'll be doing something like this very soon. I can't doubt he can. And he got so riled about it that he just went through it and actually showed me one way to get through a ghost lock. Maybe it just delays it a little bit, but he was so pissed and trying to show this that I was like, no, sure. And I made sure he knew that I looked a bit disheartened the fact that he did it. But I was like, yes, now I know.
Nice.
Okay. So you're wanting to do a flashback for that?
A flashback, sorry. Yes,
Yeah.
flashback.
Backstory.
So
I've got to use this
It's backstory.
I'll give it to you. If you don't want to roll it, I'll give it to you, but it's going to cost you 3 stress.
Oh,
I'll take the 3 stress.
Okay.
I'll take the 3 stress.
Cool.
nice.
Yeah, beautiful. So yeah, absolutely. So he's been able to. So he's going to basically ends up showing you a way. I imagine it's kind of like a fake out thing. Like, oh, I bet you
Yeah.
can't even do this. He's like, oh, yes, I can.
Yeah.
I've never done it before.
And
Yeah,
He-
oh my god.
he doesn't exactly show you how to disable it completely, but he does show you how to delay it. So I am going to start a clock for that.
Okay.
We love
Cool.
the clock.
I'm going to move you back over to
Flashback. Yes.
that one.
Yeah,
We'll-
flashbacks.
Let me do I'm going to just do a 4-part clock for this one, because it's it's a delayed one.
Sweet.
Over
Okay.
here, and
Nice.
we're going to tick down one of the sides of the clock for that one.
Dope.
So, so you've managed to. How is it that he shows you how to delay this timer?
While he's going through it, because it's a very strange contraption full of, mechanics and things as well. So he just shows like, get yourself one of those tongs. What is it? Those things that you use for music.
Tuning
The
like a tuning fork.
Tuning fork.
Tuning
Yeah.
fork.
Yeah.
It's like, use that because it's a sound. It actually brings kind of a harmonic to it, and it actually pulls the spirit out a little bit before to keep them a bit calm while it's being
So it relaxes and neutralizes them a bit.
Yeah, it's like he said, it's
cool.
incredible how it works. It's like, no one would think of this. And he was really up himself when he thought of it. But he's
Oh,
like,
I forgot to ask you all to choose your load.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
I'll get you to,
Mm.
to pick your load really quick.
I think if we're carrying, like, I mean, clearly the necessary rappelling gear to get there, I mean, that's at least a medium
Ropes.
load. So I think normal. Yeah.
Pulleys,
Mm.
grappling hooks, pittons. Yeah,
I
probably.
mean,
Probably
Yeah.
a
I feel
normal.
like you guys might even almost be heavy because you'd
I'm
like
gonna go
taking all
heavy.
that stuff.
I'm gonna go heavy.
Yeah.
I'll
I
try
wanna
to
make
stay
sure I've got what we need.
normal if he's
Yeah.
got extra stuff, and then I'll stay
Yeah.
light so I can stealth around if I need
Yeah.
to. So
Cool.
I'll be normal.
I'm going to get you to tick off an item of load because to procure that that tuning for, because it's something a bit unusual that you would have needed to prepare for. But yeah, you can
Okay.
absolutely do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tones.
Fabulous.
Sorry,
That's
go on.
good.
I was going
Yeah,
to
so
say Tones normally
Tones,
goes
tell
light.
me what it is that you're actually going to be getting through here with your light load.
Well, I think actually this time, because I'm bringing a goat-drawn dump truck, actually going normal. Normal is heavy for Tones.
Yeah,
But,
easy.
we're bringing a goat-drawn dump truck.
Beautiful.
We have got,
Awesome.
yeah. Oh man, I might even use up all my load before I even get inside.
It's all right.
But we're going to have a whole lot of, tell me if you're going to let me do this, a whole lot of ghost flasks.
Mhm.
And they're strung up like lights all
Okay.
around the edge, the outside of this goat-drawn cart. Piled inside is a whole bunch of just ordinary items like half-rotted bananas and discarded shoes. It's literally a dump truck of garbage, but each item carefully selected, which we're going to go up right up to the steps and release and break a couple of the ghost flasks and release my dear friend, Possessor Spirit, Nyrix,
Mhm.
to cause havoc, as I claim that this isn't real art. This is a fraud.
Mhm. Okay.
And I'm here to show you true art. And then cut my arm and start bleeding.
Okay. Cool.
Ah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Because art is soul. I bleed for my art. Sorry.
Just
so.
too literal.
Yeah, I really like this. How am I gonna punish you for all of this stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have
what's
to.
Well,
the
actually,
This
case?
is a,
I'm
this is a
gonna
lot of stuff.
I'm going to read
I
from the chat.
feel.
The chat mentions, thank you,
Uh-huh.
Fine de Conte. The only problem is keeping the goats on track when they keep wanting to eat the trash. So there's
That's true.
that.
True.
Yeah. Okay.
I also kind of like the guy from the last job is driving. So one of our lads was a little bit fascinated by all
God.
this.
Mhm.
Because, people like the dark side of things. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say. Yeah. So I'm gonna get you to tick 2 items of load
That's fair.
for all of the, because you've got
I've got a lot of stuff.
the
Oh,
flasks
stuff.
and you've got
Yeah.
all the other bits and bobs. And I'm going to get you to roll something on how you're going to sort of how you're going to sort of manage the goat driven cart to make
Goats?
sure it actually goes
as
the correct
Chat dubbed
direction that
it,
you
the
want it to.
GDDT.
GPDT. Yeah.
Yeah. How are you going to actually manage that? And then do a roll for it to make sure
I mean,
that
I'm
they
going to
actually
get
go
a
in the correct
ghost to
direction
do
and
it.
do it.
I'm going to get a ghost to do it for me.
Okay.
Cool.
No.
So I'm going to use my
This is going to go right. This is going to be fun.
ability.
This is
Yeah.
flawless.
Okay.
I'm going to compel one of my ghost friends. These are these are parasocial relationships with the ghosts. They kind of like dig Tones's vibe, and it's really unhealthy, essentially.
Yeah.
And I'm going to compel one of my ghost friends to keep my goat friends driving forward. And if they decide to try and eat the trash, the ghosts will, I don't know, manifest, because we know animals don't like ghosts, in a direction to kind of drive them in increasing levels of terror forwards. Because while I believe in ghost kindness, maybe I'm a little bit shaky on animal kindness.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So do a roll for that.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Okay. How do I do that?
So
All right.
what are you
What's a
doing?
tune?
Did you
Is it
say
a tune?
a tune? Yeah.
thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got
Yeah.
2 dots in that. So
Oh, wow.
I'm so
Nice.
sorry. How many dice do I
Whisper.
get for that?
2 dice.
2 dice.
And take the high.
That is a 5.
Among mates. Among
Right.
mates.
Fantastic.
Bar, ram.
Yeah.
boo.
Boo.
You
Oh man, I really
absolutely-
like that as well. Ghosts take the form of a delicious apple on a stick.
Yes. Love it.
I like
So
that.
you managed to steer those goats with the delicious apples sort of in their face, and they're like, "Whoa." And you see like the cartoon, like their eyes glow up with the
Yeah.
apple sort of silhouette in them. They're like,
Yeah.
and they sort of drive
Yeah.
their way, and almost too good, that you sort of drive, what was the intention was sort of to drive just sort of into the front of the gallery, was
Yeah,
it?
to kind of go to the front of the
Um,
building and
It
distract
kind of
everybody.
they kind of get a bit too overeager, and they sort of drive you straight through the front doors,
Oh.
and create a bit of noise.
Uh-huh.
And you're sort of like, trying to pull them back real quick, but you
Yeah.
absolutely get everyone's attention.
I mean, that was
But
the
you've
goal.
also sort of got the attention of the guards as well. So I'm going to start
Mhm.
another clock.
Cool.
Oh, second clock. Oh,
Second
no.
clock.
Oh, Lord.
Let me
Because
see
we
if I
know
can
that
think.
Tones is all about self-control and de-escalation. So, nothing could possibly go wrong from here.
Change that to
Where is the
Yes.
goat
Oh,
emote?
really?
Where is the goat emote? I have a goat emote.
so guards
Chief
apprehend
Mechanic.
you.
Go to mate. Du, du,
There
du,
it
du.
is. Yes.
Goat emote.
Do, 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 do.
The go to mate. Du, 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 du,
Do
du,
do
du.
do do. Goat emote. Do 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 do.
A bar ram.
Goat
Boo,
emote.
boo,
Do
boo, boo,
do
boo.
do 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 do.
Beautiful. So we've got guards apprehend you and ghost alarm.
Nice.
Oh,
Sick.
joy.
Let's make them a bit bigger. Thank you. So you can be more big and ominous.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Oh, I dropped my pen. Where did it go?
Oh no,
No.
not the pen.
Fabulous. Sorry.
Not the pen that's
You
muddier
managed
than the
to.
sword.
You really got everyone's attention. But yeah, you're sort
That
of
was the
seeing
goal.
the guards that are all kind of around the building all look over and like, hey, you there, and sort of see they're sort of moving their way towards you. There is a crowd, and they're obviously
Mhm.
having to navigate the halls of the
Mm.
the eclectic, creepy oddities. So it's
Yep.
going to take them a bit of time to navigate their way to you, but they spot you and they're like
Mhm.
making their way towards you.
Are they doing the?
So
No.
we will cut back up to our group upstairs. You
Mhm.
would have heard the kerfuffle crash downstairs. You're like, hey, what are you doing? Blah! Some goats bleating.
Caesar.
Meh.
Caesar, get that woman.
That's
Um,
Tones. Let's go. That's Tones.
Yeah.
What are we doing from here?
Okay.
I mean,
So we head down. We're down glass, looking for where it is. Keeping an eye out from what I remember from the surveyor, directing Kit as well, like this direction if I can find it as well, and trying to stay, just keeping an eye out for any guards along the way to where we believe that it is meant to be.
Where the artwork is supposed to be.
Yes.
Okay, so are you trying to beat the clock of the ghost alarm to get in and get out before it goes off?
I think so. What do you think?
Okay.
Are we doing this while it's on display, or is it still in store? Like, do we know if it is on display during the whole showing of the gallery, or is this going to be a feature unveiling?
Great question.
Is it in storage? Because
Um,
I'm just thinking, the classic cinema masterpiece, Mr. Bean's movie. The artwork is kept in storage, right, when things go awry. So is this, are we expecting the three people to bring out this massive rolled up thing, or is it on display? Because that's going
Yeah.
so,
to provide context.
do you want to do a flashback and roll to see if you can find a timetable and information?
Yes, that would be
Oh,
fabulous.
Mhm.
Flashback. Flashback.
So how are you going to go about getting this timetable?
So we need to know
I'm off for some thinking.
timings. I'm thinking, yeah, like obviously it was in storage, but we need to know where it's going to be and where it's going to be when. We're going to need to do.
Maybe it's someone you've done a favor for.
That's
in
what
the
I'm. Yeah,
past,
that's
like
what
a
I'm wondering.
distant
Like,
family connection?
yeah. Oh, I've
Yeah.
kind of burnt my family connection during my downtime.
Or you can kind of
Yeah, I wonder what
maybe you
happened
could-
there. What a shame.
I overindulged.
if anyone might have any
Or-
gallery contacts to seek out
Yeah,
someone
okay.
at the gallery to, a curator, something like that.
I suggest to my learned friend here, my wrecker friend, look, he's someone you could speak to who does like a bit of art as well. She's also a bit wealthy. It's in the nobility. She just kept. I think we kind of hit it off when she came down to get some groceries sort of stuff once. Anyway, but she's pretty good actually. She likes her art. She might be able to help you out with that.
Kruger.
Have a chat to her. Well, you do what you can. So anyway, working on my relationship with Rosalind Kellis. She's a noble. Maybe have a chat to her and
been to these things before. Like we might not need an actual time, an actual run sheet, but like kind of goes, oh, there's all of these things are the same. They, wine and nibbles and champagne and things come around, and then all
Very
the
similar
minor
to
artists, and then eventually, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
So
I'll
whatever you
schmooze
roll
the
for that,
noble.
I'll say I'll give you an extra D for that assistance as well.
Cool. Would that be consort?
Yeah, I'll take consort.
Cool.
Yeah, nice.
Let's go the 2D on that.
You do consort or sway, like if you're trying to convince her.
I've only got consort.
It's like,
That's all right.
it's consorting.
So it's
Yeah.
Considering we're talking
Oh.
about like Cougars and the tone, surely it's consort.
Yeah,
Surely.
you're
100%.
schmoozing as opposed to
You're
trying to like
schmoozing.
beg and convince.
we are
Yeah.
we are schmoozing. I'm not against convincing her in multiple ways.
A well-placed hand on the thigh,
Not even subtle
How did
about
this
it.
game go this way?
It's Blades in the Dark.
Ah.
Yeah.
There's red lights everywhere.
It's a 1
Yeah.
it's a 1 and a 4.
1 and a
so
4. Okay.
We got a 4.
4's a success. Success with a complication. Yeah, absolutely. So she'll kind of she's super into you. First of all, she's like, oh, strapping young man, a leather coat. She just feels like she's reliving her youthful days.
Everyone loves a bad boy.
She gets probably a bit too handsy with you. It's a bit, a bit more than comfortable.
Hey, if that's the complication, I'm not mad about it.
And she's going to give you the information that yes, they kind of, you start off with some cocktails and some appetizers, and they go through and you sort of enjoy the gallery, and they'll sort of get everyone to gather into the main room, and they'll sort of wheel at the artwork and unveil it, drop the curtain, basically. So whilst everyone's sort of having their cocktails, they'll sort of move to put the artwork up, put a big old drop sheet over it, move everyone into the main viewing room, drop the sheet. They'll be like, oh my god, wow, that artwork's so cool. And then they'll start the auction. So it will be kept in storage until the start of the opening. It'll kind of start being moved from storage to the viewing chamber. From sort of away from where the cocktails and stuff is. So there theoretically shouldn't be many people around because the rest of the gallery will still be open. But there's not as much stuff because the sort of viewing gallery is a bit more sparse. But you're not sure where it is that it would be kept between then and the unveiling.
It sounds like
you do know it would be in storage somewhere.
In a prep room or something, ready to be wheeled out. So I look for if it's wheeled out, possibly, if that's a thing, because it's so huge, or if it's like it must be somewhere that it can easily be moved. So I'll look for passages leading to that main room that actually be big enough to take this thing through and try to
Yeah.
work our way
Work
out.
our way backwards.
Yeah, that's it. Try and
Right.
find out where it might be stored.
So you've arrived sort of during the cocktail hour, but before the actual unveiling. Is that correct?
For sure.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'd say, yeah, once the
Yes.
cocktail hour is underways, that's when
Yeah.
Tone is definitely
Everyone's in
Kinda come
there.
down.
gonna
Yeah,
gonna
because
pop in.
Tones
Yeah.
would like be wanting to make
An
an
audience.
impression, so it's going to
Everyone's
have
an
to be
audience. Yeah.
when
Yeah.
most people are there, and she's familiar with this kind of soiree. She knows how this things goes, the general timing. She knows the time to. I hope. Let me.
Right.
She knows the times to come to arrive in maximal impact.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah, fantastic. So yeah, I'll get you to do a roll to see how you're kind of your success in trying to navigate this gallery, I guess. Or
Oh, what?
Mm.
I suppose maybe success in navigating the gallery without being seen would probably be the
Yeah.
major
We go
thing.
sneaky.
As I'm
Okay,
assuming
well-
you're not just kind of waltz. Are you gonna waltz through and pretend like you're
No.
patrons, or are you just
No.
sneaking, or how are you going about it?
Sneaky. I think we're going to have to prowl our way
Oh, yeah.
through
Yeah.
Mm.
as secretly as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to survey what I could along the way. But it's
You could lead a group action if you wanted to.
Mm.
yeah, happy to. Should we do that? I mean,
Yeah, that sounded
because
good.
prowl is definitely something I'm strong at, and so I can make sure that we've got like getting out away from security guards, quickest ways through as well, making sure we're not stepping on stuff or being seen. I'll work on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you
Um,
think?
Yeah.
Can I just throw in that I
Mm.
do want to do a flashback of how Tones plans to get back to the other two at some
Yeah.
point
Mm.
to
Yeah,
help
absolutely.
them with ghost locks and that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So,
Yeah, we'll see how we go with this
Yeah.
this sneaking to find a location, and then we'll cut back to you and see how we go with that and
Sweet.
join the impact up together.
Yay.
I have no
Yes.
prowl to add to a group action.
So you would roll 2 dice and take the lowest result.
Okay.
Okay,
Do you have two?
And
Do you have
Ian would
two in
still
prowl, Ian?
roll.
I got 2 in prowl.
Okay, go.
So then
already
you
got
take the
2.
highest result. So
Okay.
Ian would take the stress stress
leader.
minus. So it'd be 6 stress minus get my brain right. 6 stress minus the hold on, let me get the exact details because I keep forgetting the exact. No, that's not that one. Oh, sorry. Mark 1 stress. Lead the group action is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, no, sorry. You roll. Everyone rolls for their equivalent. So you'd all roll prowl or Blink and Kit would, and then Kit would take 1 stress for each person who rolled a 1, a 2, or a 3. So.
Cool.
Assuming that Kit doesn't roll a 1, a 2, or a 3, you will just get through and enjoy it.
Okay.
Assuming
Do
that makes nothing to worry
Do I
about.
roll?
Yes,
We
you
both
both
roll.
roll.
So you're
Do
looking
I-
for the highest
am I being
result.
Yeah, and am I being assisted? Do I get an extra die, or is it just a straight 2 that I roll?
Straight roll, but you're
Yeah.
basically adding to like a pool of dice, essentially.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So,
So
yeah.
we're rolling more dice, but I have to take the lowest because it's a straight roll.
Yeah, but if he
A
gets a
default
6, then
roll?
you take the 6.
Sweet.
Oh, that's not a good face.
That's not a good
That's not a good
face.
There's
face.
no
at
good
all.
faces.
Don't
What are
tell
our
me I
faces?
rolled.
No.
Don't ever tell me I rolled the best because I didn't roll.
2 and a 3.
Oof.
Okay.
Do we want to push?
I
Or-
think maybe. I think this is kind of a crucial moment. I got a 2 and a 4. So
Okay, well, you can.
Ooh.
A 2 and a. Do you say 2 and a 4?
yeah.
Well, a 4 is still a success with a complication.
Okay.
So you can push yourself if you'd like to, but otherwise, so Ian would take. A Blink would take 3 stress, but you take that 4.
Okay. Don't I take the lower roll on a default roll? The lower dice?
Yeah, that's right, because you're rolling a disadvantage one.
Yeah,
hit,
I'm
yes.
I'm rolling a default roll. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. So it wouldn't be a
Yeah.
success. Yeah. So if you would like to push yourselves, and an extra dice.
Mm.
Otherwise,
Because
may I offer a devil's bargain?
I was thinking
Ooh.
about devil's bargain. Yes.
Devil's bargain's good.
I will listen to a
Yes.
devil's
Yeah.
I
I
will.
will hear your devil's bargain.
I will let you go through.
This devil.
You'll navigate your way through, and you'll be able to find where you assume the sort of storage areas would be, and they'll be beautifully labelled and be like, storage room, art storage, pending for next exhibition.
This is too
And a
easy.
countdown for when that door will open.
Yeah.
You sort of moving your way through, you have to dodge a lot. You've got to manage all the bits of broken glass that who've walked around it, the guards and everything like
I
that.
thought breaking the
Um,
skylight was so cool.
It is going to leave you with 1 tick left on the clock for the alarm. It takes you so much time to be able to manage your way through. There's
Jesus.
really very little time to be able to turn the alarm off.
What do you think, Kit?
Yeah, got to do it.
Take it.
So,
Cool.
It's we're sweating. We're just there, and we see it. We find it. That's it.
There you go. 1 spot left. Fabulous. So you made your way over there and you're like, storage room, finally. You're like, shh. And we'll switch back over to Tones and see what she's up to.
Awesome. So, Tones
Mid-sneeze.
always intended to do this initial, it's like, slows down, fades to black, jump cut. Tones always intended this to be a distraction, but also objects to frauds, very much is such a fan. It feels a deep sense of betrayal on finding out that an artist that she was like, oh, this is part of my world, was not. So wants to cause as much chaos as possible. So enlists her best friend, Santera, who's a demon, to assist with that, and who is also about causing chaos and as much harm as possible. So after I roll up with my goats and my little spirit flasks, my ghost flasks, and my dump some trash out, and the goats can now start eating the trash to their heart's content, I want my ghost friend and my demon friend to start smashing some of the ghost flasks that were sitting there as lit up, and start doing harm to as many people as they like, so that I can then kind of fade into the background and rejoin my friends in this chaos as city guards, blue coats. And hey, if anyone dies, I guess we're getting some bells happening as they come to what is rapidly a degenerating, like,
Party.
Tones is an anarchist, essentially.
Quintessentially.
Who is happy to watch the city burn just because the flames look great in the light.
You look great in the light.
So,
Fair.
yeah,
What have we
super
done?
happy to like kick
It's
this off.
the only light you'll be able to see anyway. There's no sun.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
like,
There's no sun.
create your
Right.
You
own.
want to see beauty? This is beauty. There is beauty in destruction, as I'm sure a wise person said.
Hell's yeah.
So she has discussed with her demon friend, her possessor ghost friend, that once she arrives and it's sort of like a moment where it's like pose, unleash hell, to then sneak back and join. So
Yeah.
that's the plan. So that's the flashback. That was
Yeah.
always the plan.
Yeah,
That's my
awesome.
role.
I'll give you just 1 stress for that because you're on friendly terms with that. I'm gonna do a fortune roll for you to see how
Ooh.
distracting your smashed up ghost vials
Yep.
are, spirit bottles.
Yep.
And then I'll get you to roll your sneaking away to see how successful you do at that.
That seems
So
reasonable.
I'll roll your fortune first. Tell your fortune.
Tell my fortune. Oh my goodness. Among mates in the chat, she said she wanted to light up a lot of people's lives.
Okay.
Ah,
So
ah.
you have a lot of them end up smashing up properly and they kind of make a lot of sound, and a couple of them just sort of whine pathetically in the corner. They go like,
Hey,
it's
that's
just
their
a bit too
authentic
much
self.
for them.
Yeah,
it's
that's
a bit
fair. They're a
much.
little
They're like,
overstimulated. That's okay.
yeah.
That's okay. I get it. That's okay.
Other ones are like, whoa! And they're having a good time. They're just sort of like bouncing around. Like, think of it almost like big puffs of fireworks, almost like
Oh
a
yeah. Like a
different
big
little
powder
ghost.
kind of. Yep.
Yeah, ghosts of activity. But because there's no one there, no living person there to actively sort of tell them what to do and sort of move them around, I guess, attune to them and command them to do things, it's going to be very short-lived. So it's just going to take a bit of time. So it means that you're going to need to move quickly to be able to get to go for you. And I
like
am,
that.
because you've made a bit more noise, I am going to kick off another side for guards apprehending you because you're making
Cool.
a bit more of a nuisance of yourself.
That seems
So,
fair.
how are you sneaking away? How are you?
Oh, I have nothing in any physical abilities at all. So, could I tell me if this is too cheeky? Could I possibly, like, through an incredible study of the layout and the way the shadows are falling with flames and fire, figure out an awesome way to get out of sight?
Yeah. Yeah. What would you roll for that?
I would really like to roll study. Because I
Okay.
studied the best way to find my way through.
I'll
Because I'm
see.
a
Sure.
Formula
thinker.
going around her head, and she's
Yeah, the
looking for one sort of
strings
thing
going
to give you.
between.
Yeah. Okay. I'll say that you'd studied the area and the layout of the
Mhm.
gallery previously.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'll let you roll that. I can
Cool.
say you're kind
Nice.
of really
Yeah, I'm
when you
braining
rolled
my
up, you
way
really took
through.
your time to be like to do like the
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes moment, slow everything down, and be
Yeah.
like, okay,
Everything's
they're over there, they're
fine.
over there. So it goes over here,
And the
then I'll
person
go
will
over
turn
this
their
way.
head, and this explosion goes off. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Okay.
can I
I'll give you that.
Can I push myself as well? Because I really would
Absolutely.
like to get away. So
Take
that's an extra dice.
take extra dice and take one stress for that.
I'll take one stress with that. Awesome. Alrighty, let's go.
Your brain is on fire.
6.
Boom.
Yay!
Fantastic. You just melt into the shadows, basically. You're like, you know, the sort of like stereotype of just like, oh yeah, they're just sort of duck past things as they're exploding, and you're just like, what's really?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I don't even care.
Yeah, cool.
Duck your way
That can be
through,
bad.
and so I'm assuming you decided with the rest of your crew that you knew where you were going to be meeting once that sort
Yeah.
of alarm was
Yeah.
going off. Okay.
Once that
Or
all went off. Yeah.
once all the attention was towards the front doors. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
All of
Yeah.
all of the crowd is going to kind of make their way to the front because they're like, what is that kerfuffle?
What is
We're
going
fancy folk.
on?
We always need to be putting our
Yeah.
nose into other people's business. Let's get into it.
Yep.
And you'll make your way to the storage room. So if you wanted to head into there, you'll be able to
Hi, guys.
meet up with each other.
Nice
So-
work.
And if you wanted to have a quick powwow about where you're all up to with everything.
This is so much fun. What's that? Like a real change looking at the ghost lock. What's that?
Ghost lot, all good. Pull out the ding. This is out to hold it, but we've got little time. We've got to get out of here now. If you can help us get this thing, we're gonna go shimmy up straight away. Ready? Kit,
Can
go.
I?
Ready?
Yeah. Tell us.
Are you wanting to just grab the artwork or destroy it or whatever you were wanting to do and then bolt? Or are you wanting to get the alarm?
We foreshadowed this.
Yeah, this is coming.
Kit wants to destroy it. I'm
Yeah.
still
Okay,
like
yeah.
firmly in that. So what I've been formulating is I might need to do a flashback.
Yes.
Possibly employ the use of a couple of my contacts, either my assassin, who I'm not too familiar with, or the physico. I need to kind of consult with someone. Like I might have a bit of a pyromanic flair.
Physica.
Yeah, so
It
I'm
seems the whole
thinking,
room does, basically.
yeah, talking to the
Yeah, we
physica
like it.
for a bit of alchemical chemistry advice, because I want to create IRL. I am aware of like contact explosives, and there's stuff that you can make where you can like paint it on and it's wet, and then when it dries, any contact lets it suddenly react. So I'm wondering if I want to just maybe define like what is the artwork currently veiled? Is this going to be like a silk or satin curtain? I'm imagining like a deep red curtain that's going to drop, and then there's beautiful dark sort of shades of black and everything behind it. So I'm wondering if that's just going to drop, and if it does, I wouldn't mind having some sort of alchemical mixture in a little atomizer and just start spritzing it all over this thing. So by the time we're gone, it dries. They don't know any different, and moving it around is not going to do too much. But when it drops, it's just going to unleash flame that's immediately going to start reading
light
up.
or air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you wanted to head, if you as a group wanted to head in there and quickly sort of survey the area, you'll see that the storage room's got a whole bunch of other artworks that are all sort of covered up, and it's pretty obvious which one is the one that you're looking for, because it's the one that is the biggest, taking up the most amount of room. It's on this sort of like wheelie, like this big wheelie,
Like a
sort
whiteboard.
of, frame. Yeah, almost like a whiteboard. It's on this, hanging on this frame, and it's got these curtains sort of draped down. And you can see that they sort of there's some mechanisms to be able to pull these pulleys, and then it'll sort of, with a beautiful swooping motion, open these curtains up.
Okay.
So artistic.
So if you're wanting to lean in and have a look at painting on these chemicals, if you want this, these would probably be the kinds of things that you'd have to be able to, with your family's history of shipwrecking, you'd probably would readily have these sorts of things available to be able to bust your way into ship exteriors and things like that.
Yeah, we muck around with
I'll say that you can have that as part of your load and just tick off an item of load for that.
Yeah, dope.
Among Mates in our chat brings up a point that we're about to burn hallucinogenic blood.
Oh yeah, no, that's
just a thought. You know,
we're not going to be there though. It's all part of the plan.
You're not. I don't know about Tones.
Well, if as you sort of pull the curtains back to have a just sort of like start painting this material on, I'm assuming Blink's probably like, yeah, let me hold this back, and then Tones is like just having a really good time, enjoying yourself.
I know it's going to happen.
As soon as the curtains part and you sort of manage to gaze upon this artwork, your heads immediately start bursting with pain. It's this aching throb, and whilst you're looking at this artwork, it is almost an unbearable migraine, essentially, in this throbbing feeling in your heads. And Tones, you'll notice you'll be heading into the room, and you'll sort of hear just sort of faint whispering and music. Because it's creepy gallery, it's got lots of occulty stuff.
Yeah.
And again, as soon as the curtains spread, essentially like a symphony bursts into your brain, and a chorus. It's almost like a chorus of whale song. And you can see this beautiful. You're the only one that would sort of be able to really have the fortitude, like the occulty kind of fortitude to gaze upon them. I'm assuming. But if you all sort of strain yourselves to really look at it, it's this exceptional, gigantic, almost looking like a humpback whale, Leviathan painting, and truly Charlie Byrne didn't sell herself short. It is exceptional, beautiful. And the Leviathan blood sort of lends this sort of oil slick metallic sheen to the artwork, and you can feel it sort of thrumming and rippling underneath the curtain. And when Kit sort of goes to put his paintbrush on it, it feels almost like static electricity shocks sort of running down you, and Tones would be feeling this sort of drawing, pulling sensation. Almost like you'd be able to just reach out and pull this Leviathan out towards you.
Oh, absolutely. Reaching out to touch it. Guys, this is it. I told you, this is it. This is what we've been looking for.
No.
Reaches out
leave
for
it. Leave it. We just do it. Actually, try it, Kit. Write in your thing, whatever it is, fraud in big letters if you can. Let's get the hell out of here. This is horrible. What? No,
this is too beautiful. We have to leave this.
This is dangerous. And I'm like, no, this is dangerous. Like, don't.
No, this is beautiful. You don't understand. You've got.
Really?
You
All
don't
gonna go up in
understand. You
flames.
can't destroy this.
If I drop this one, all going up in
This is the
flames.
thing. You can't do this. No, this is not right. We
You're
have
running
to
out of
keep
time.
this.
We're
Puts her
running out
hand
of
on the
time.
painting. 100% tries to draw whatever is out there. Calls her ghost
Oh,
friends.
I'm doing
okay.
everything I can to pull her away from it.
I feel this is an
Incredible.
opposed
I'm just
roll of
kind of
some
like
sort.
Yes.
holding this paper, and I'm like,
Yes, it
"Do you
is.
understand? We are dead if I drop this."
Yes, incredible. I'll get you to roll for whatever stats you feel like you would be using to maybe I think maybe a skirmish or maybe a
So
Yeah.
Tones is not paying any attention to her friends. They are just
you'll
like,
be more
there she
attuning.
is trying to attune, reach out physically,
Okay.
reach out mentally with everything to try and connect with whatever this is.
I'll get Blink to roll his sort of deflection to sort of prevent
Mhm.
you from doing so.
Go
and
on, you
we'll see how we go
scrawny
from there.
19-year-old.
full of
Yep.
full of absolute anxiety at the moment and trying to get out of here.
Mm.
That's fair. I
I
feel like,
just
yeah.
used my in terms of body just to walk through to be in front of her and just with finesse, almost like at a dance, to sort of like move her away from it as much as
Okay.
as possible, using my body weight as well to push her back as well.
So like a bit of a
I'll use
deflection,
finesse.
like pushing,
Yeah.
like
No,
Yeah.
no,
beautiful.
no,
Roll
no,
for
no,
it.
no.
Roll for it.
Yeah.
Love it.
I've got 1 in finesse. Okay.
Do you want to push yourself?
Oh man, I'm on 5. I will
Oh, what
push
could possibly go
myself.
It's a
wrong?
one shot.
I will push myself as a one shot. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nice.
4 and 2.
Beautiful. 4. Yes. You absolutely managed to push her away. But her fingertips graze the edge of the canvas. And
Okay.
it does prevent her from attuning fully, but enough of what she's managed to do is get a complete feel for it. And Tones can feel that the sort of any alteration or any sort of significant kind of what's the word, sort of interruption isn't the right word, but like anything that sort of interferes with this artwork in any sort of significant way is going to unleash something. So whether or not Tones, you still want to try and go back and push past and try again to fully attune for it now that you've had this feel.
So I've got this sense that if the artwork is destroyed or damaged, something will be unleashed.
Yes, either that, or if you were able to attune to it and command it and pull it out, something would be unleashed. A similar sort of seems like that it's almost like a think of it like a glass box, basically. Like, you know, you can unlock it if you have the ability to, or you can just smash it if you've got enough of it got enough strength to do so. Yeah.
Just gonna look at Kit and go, burn it.
Cool.
That was weird.
With like really like
We gotta go. Kit, do what you think is right.
still like climbing over.
You know what?
This is Kitten like going for toy. Blink trying to hold on to.
We gotta go.
With this in mind, I'm going to tick the last section of clock off for the ghost alarm, and you're going to hear this squealing, screaming, high pitched, like you immediately go like, oh, another thing to like hurt my brain as this screeching sound goes off.
I'm gonna just drop the brush. It's not volatile while it's still liquid, and instead, like, we don't have time to write out fraud. It's just gonna be this splash of this liquid across the surface of it. And as we're like, I'm not even gonna like pick anything else up. Like, we're out. Like, if they want to put this out on, we have to let them put it out on display. So I'll pick up my paint. Yeah, I'll pick up my paintbrush.
And I'm dragging.
We try not to leave anything behind. You're dragging. I'm dragging Tone out. I'm gonna pull the release on the curtain.
Trust me. Go.
I'm gonna pull the release on the curtains to let them fall back into place. And we are sprinting for the exit.
Cool. Are you gonna leave any of that material that you've found for the ledger. And hello, hi. Sorry, I've got dog.
Ah, hello,
Hello,
dog.
puppy.
Oh no, don't eat my pizza. Stop.
No.
The true
Can
reason.
I?
Yes.
Sorry, go on.
Hey, hello.
Oh, hey, you're
Puppy,
beautiful.
Hello.
Hello, papu.
Boy,
Puppy, you're so pretty.
I know we've run out of time mechanically. My thinking was getting it to the one person who cares, and that would probably be the curator of the gallery, right? We're obviously not going to be able to find him.
Well, I mean, you've saved the you've got the information already. You can still give it away after this whole thing is done.
For sure.
As like an off-screen.
I'm a bit scared that there's a sense of urgency to that now. Like if you know, there's some bullshit like that headache is barely fading as we're starting to run away. Like it is still throbbing in my mind. I'm probably not thinking clearly, and I make a snap decision. I don't think I need to, you know, all of this sensation, and then this anonymous package rocks up on his desk. I need to try and either get it in his hands or get it onto his office desk like now, so that even if everyone else in the gallery gets, I don't know what, maybe the authorities find this after the fact. Did we pay enough attention as we were doing our slow, steady navigation to this room? Did we see the curator's office that I can slip it under the door or into a suggestion box? Or like, I don't know. Suggestion.
Tell us what you think of the exhibition.
Uncover this fraud.
So while Skurlock owns the gallery, he owns the gallery and sort of has a say into what sort of goes in there. He doesn't run it. His own property is actually in a dilapidated manner just outside of the city walls.
What a weirdo.
So I mean, people call him the town vampire, so you know.
Okay.
He's got to be a bit of a freak. So if you wanted to seek him out afterwards,
we'll do that.
All right.
All right. Maybe I didn't even bring it with. Like if I'd locked that in, I probably would have not even brought it with me, because there was no way. Like, it's not like I can put it on an overhead projector or anything. It wasn't going to be. I was always thinking once I had that ledger, it needed to go to the right person who gave a shit.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Easy. Well, if you're wanting to sprint out, is that right?
Yep.
I just want to do one more thing before we do. I would like to use my last, at least one or two items of load to pull out the Molotov cocktails that I had prepared earlier. And as I am slung over Blink's shoulder, I would like to light those and just throw them.
What are you doing?
So just around the gallery?
Burn. Just around the gallery, because you know what? Cool. I want to see it burn.
Incredible. Sure. Yeah, fantastic. All right, we'll montage this last bit. You're all sort of sprinting out of this gallery, as sort of flames are licking up behind you, and you're sort of running out. It's like the cinematic movie thing where you're like, whoa, it's like explosions and stuff are happening behind you.
Tones laughing, and like delight as a little girl, going.
You manage to sprint away, and as you're sort of a couple of blocks away, you hear this gigantic, like, bellowing, echoing screech, and you can sort of see over the top of the rooftops this arcing ghost of the Leviathan sort of seem like it's breaching over the rooftops and then smashing down using bits of debris of the buildings.
It's beautiful.
God damn.
And you're hearing just people screaming, and you're hearing this echoing, like, you've never heard such a multifaceted, horrifying sound ever in your entire lives. It chills you right to your core. Tones is like, this is probably the first time in your life your brain has been completely silent, because everything is in your brain is on the outside. So you're sprinting away, doing the Hollywood like explosions behind you, like, whoa. and you get back to Charlie, and she's been able to hear about this whole thing. I'm sure she's in a nearby cart with her binoculars, being like, and of course, as part of this incredible score, she'll give you the money that you were owed.
Not to derail, but can I
And-
ask for a lock of her hair as well?
And
Yeah.
not to
She
derail.
She gives it to you.
Hey!
And not to derail. I don't feel comfortable taking all of her savings.
Okay.
She offered us 10.
Yeah.
I want to say, look, maybe keep half. We don't need it. Like we're more attached to the city than you are, and if this at least keeps you going for a little while longer, like you just need to stay on your feet. This isn't about our profit. Like if we were going to go for the profit, we would have planned an entirely different score and like gone after his vaults in his home. We were doing this for you.
Beautiful. She'll also be like, "Oh, thank you so much, sir. I can't believe that it went. I can't thank you enough." And she's just sort of like really grabbing your hands and shaking it and just adding more dirt and grime to your hands, and it's real nasty. But she's just incredibly thankful.
I'm not to derail this moment.
Not to derail.
Not to derail the derailment.
Is that a
After-
new segment to the session?
100%.
After Tones said her thing and is going with her hair, and then Kit gave that very heartfelt speech, I'm looking at him in disbelief with what he's giving away, and then seeing her reaction, and I feel guilt and also frustration at the same time. And yeah, what he said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So happy about that.
Ah,
Yeah.
so happy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Good.
Now,
If it
not
makes
to
it any
derail.
better.
Not to derail.
As
Fair.
for your make your way to I'm assuming you're heading back to the Honeypot Tavern to have a well-deserved rest.
Yes.
The Queen would have organised
Yeah.
some beds for you, so whilst you're doing some work for her, she'll organise your accommodation.
Mhm.
And as you're sort of slumped down and lay down to your beds, and you just like, oh Jesus fucking Christ,
Yeah.
you hear a knock at your door, and
It's the
a
Leviathan.
young chap is up. It's like, "Oh, I've got a telegram for you, sir. Oh, thank you." And then he gives you a little thing and heads off.
Who to?
Toddles down the way. And you open up this letter, and in beautiful scripted handwriting it reads, "Dearest scoundrels, you've left quite the impression with your exploits in the gallery. Seems the other gallery patrons were not so enraptured with the exhibit as we were.
Philistines.
Though such glorious art cannot be truly appreciated without a distinguished palate. If your tastes permit, call upon me upon my manor outside the city. I may have a job for you if you can stomach it. Fiendishly yours, Lord Scarlock." And that's where we'll
Funny.
finish everything up.
Hey, that was an awesome ending.
Yay! Amazing.
Yeah, damn.
That was
That
so
was
cool.
so good. Thank
That
you
was
so
so much
much.
fun. Thank you.
I'm so glad that you had a good time. I'm so sorry it's taken a bit of extra time, but I was really enjoying
No,
this
worth it.
as we
No,
went through. I'm like, no, we need to
good.
go. We need to go.
Worth
If you know
every
us,
tick of the clock.
We go over every
Mhm.
time. But anyway, that's it.
Yeah,
So,
we always do. We always do.
yeah. That was
So-
fantastic.
That
Yeah.
that was incredible. If it makes Blink feel any better, I divvied up the 5 as 2, and I'll take the 1. So
Ah, beautiful. So kind.
Now I
so
do
kind.
feel guilty.
Guy, okay.
Now I feel
Tones
really
100%
guilty.
just leaves it on a table somewhere and wanders off because she's got a party to go to. She's got some ghosts to
I
consort
take it for
with.
safekeeping. I just look out. for it.
Safekeeping.
That's it. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
No, but that was so much fun. And it
That
was so
was-
much fun seeing the characters develop as well.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
fantastic.
yeah. It was a pretty good.
But,
It was very interesting, different points, and that we
Mm,
kind of like evolved with each other, which was really cool. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Elle's
Exact-
storytelling was fantastic. They really,
Yeah.
Yeah.
really
Wonderful.
just building on stuff.
Seriously
good.
immersive.
Yeah.
A lot of it went in directions that I was like, oh, that's brilliant. Like, I was like, huh? And then,
Mhm.
like, we got there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
everything.
Well, I mean, you
everything
pulled
we
me in
could play
directions
off.
that I wasn't expecting as well. I was so excited with the way that you were coming up with.
For sure. I
different
think in a
ideas.
system
ways of
like
going about
this
things.
that
It's
is,
incredible.
yeah, I think in a system like this that relies a lot of like, yeah, we are doing every step of the way. Your understanding
Yeah.
of the play style and the approach and methodology of this definitely allowed us to go.
Mm.
You know, you weren't against saying, right, no more prep. Let's do this, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
Too
that
much.
is
Getting us
actually
getting us
Yeah.
out
because
of
you
that.
know
That
where
was
the
brilliant.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
where
yeah.
the fun
So
is, because
good.
we could have spent 4 hours just talking about,
Yep.
oh, this would be so cool, and then and then
Mhm.
and we may as well just be
could
writing
try
it all
this, we could
down,
this.
and you know,
Yeah.
but it is in the exploring of each pace and things like that. So thank you for being so
Mhm.
on it. Your
Okay.
understanding of the world, explaining everything, made it really special. So that was
Mm.
an
I'm
I'm
absolute
really
blast.
glad that you had a good time. I'm really
No,
glad.
we so did. Thank you so
For
much.
sure.
But guess what? Wonderful social pillar community. This Blades in the Neurodivergence. So true.
Yes.
So
Yes.
true.
Yeah.
This is, in fact, our wrap up for the year
Mhm.
2024.
A little bit
Wonderful
more
human
too.
beings.
Yes, we were going to have potentially we were going to continue on, but we're going to have the break for 2024. It's going to kick in.
Yes. So we want to thank everybody who's stuck with us for this year. It has been a wonderful adventure. It's not really a pun, it's all an adventure, but we've really appreciated
Really.
having everybody in the community who's stayed with us. We know we've got a lot of people among mates, Jason, people who come along every single stream. We really love you. We really appreciate having you here. Thank you so much. Obviously, thank you to the wonderful GMs who join me and our wonderful guests. Elle, you have now become the surrogate for every guest that we have had. You guys bring so much to these streams. We really appreciate it. We really love it. And we are going to have a bit of a break, but we will be back next year at some stage. YouTube episodes will be going up. I promise I'll get them done. But
do get done.
hey,
Keep an eye out.
And there's
plan
so many of
was-
them anyway, so like rewatch
Yeah.
them, because you probably
Look
missed
back.
something really, really juicy and really helpful and
yeah,
really inspiring. So
Yeah. so go watch them. I'll
Check 'em out.
definitely get them uploaded soon.
there'll be more. There's always more.
But yeah, that is us. Gents, closing remarks while I try and find someone for our final raid of the year.
Oh, I had a suggestion for the raid, and I'll do mine first so that Jared can
Okay,
wrap
cool.
us all up for the year.
Beautiful.
Before I do my wrap, you could, if you want, if they're still around, raid onto the Flickering Torch if
Okay.
they're around, because they do Blades in the Dark. If anyone wants
Oh,
to
okay.
continue
Let me
Oh,
see if
dope.
I can find them.
the
Dope,
venture
dope,
into the darkness, fingers crossed, who knows? But I just want to say
Let
a
me
big
see.
thank you again, Elle. I'm so glad you got to come along and do this. We got to work this out eventually. We got here.
Yes.
Worth every minute.
We definitely would love to do this again.
Mm.
And want to say for you guys, Jared, Thea, it's been a pleasure this year. This year we've it's been fewer episodes, but it's like been kind of like everyone's been a big hit every single time with the things we talked about. It's really evolved, and I'm really looking forward to having a rest, and then us re-looking at how we're looking at next year, what conversations we're going to start talking about. God, I'm getting my London accent coming back in. For next year, kind of what things we want to talk about. So please put it in the chats, guys. Please put it in comments. Keep having a look at YouTube. I'm looking forward to a 2025 with you guys. So, Jared, how would you like to wrap it up?
I mean, great. Thank you, especially to Elle for running this. This was such a incredibly insightful experience for us as players. We have started playing more and more through this project. We've been playing in person at Fortress. Ian's been running games for us. We've even analyzed our own play styles and the role that each player has in the table. And I couldn't help but notice all of that coming through this evening. So it was an absolute pleasure. For everyone tuning in, thank you dearly and deeply. It's so incredible that we do have a very steady a number of chatters. That's what we're here for. We are here for the interactivity of the community. So if there's anyone that you feel benefits from just watching some people figure out how a game works, if there's something that you learned from one of our deep dives into any particular conversation, please share it. We just want to get our message out there. So I'm so looking forward to 2025. We are prioritizing quality over quantity, and that's paying off for our motivation, our momentum, and everything else. And the fact that you guys are sticking around, that we're getting growing slowly but steadily every day, to making it all worthwhile. So thank you. We'll be rating out. I'm assuming Thea's
Merry
We
Christmas.
will.
Locked and
Unfortunately,
loaded.
so that suggestion they are not live right now. So
Okay.
we are unable to read them, and I'm actually struggling to find a live
Crit and miss.
D&D game.
I'm trying
Crit
to-
and Miss are on a break, unfortunately.
Tony.
Captain Robert is live, apparently.
Rerun.
Rerun?
Probably.
Is it a
Rerun.
well? No, this
Could
one he's
be.
not got as a. No, he's got as a rerun. Always
Thanks,
a
everyone.
rerun.
It's I don't know when they're live.
Yeah.
Everyone in the chat.
I don't. They just do
Good to see you.
reruns. Hang on. Let me see.
No,
doing
we'll
it.
send out a raid.
we may. Oh, actually, no. I was going to say we could raid one of our other friends, but they're not live.
It's okay.
Literally. No, that's in German. You know what? I'm struggling to find anybody for us to raid. D&D DM Writers Room. Let's have a look.
Well,
Dungeons and Dragons,
Jack
TTRPG guys.
Jack Square
starting
Peg.
soon.
Apparently they're
Jack
running
Square Peg?
something. They're running something.
Mm,
They've been doing it for 2 hours.
Running
So
something.
Jack Square Peg.
Jack Square
I like
Peg.
it.
here you go, sir. We don't know
Um,
you, but good luck.
We might raid someone, we might not, but we're going to sort it out. We are going to roll.
We are
Sounds
gonna
good.
roll.
Let's go to them.
All
Yeah,
right.
we're going to do Jack Square Peg. But
Send it.
yes, that's who we're going to see. Come
All
visit
right.
our socials. Join us on Discord. Continue the conversation. Spread the love. Hugs. But with consent. Do not be like Tones. Tones is not
Tones,
the
bad
example to follow.
Mhm.
Don't be like Tones.
Don't
Be
be like
better.
Tones.
Be better.
Yes, be better.
Love you all. Thank you very much. Bye for now. Happy holidays.
You all.
Travel safe
Thank
if you're
you all.
traveling.
Thank you, everyone.
And call your
Thank
mum.
you.
All right.
Happy New Year. We'll see you next
Happy New Year.
year.
See you
Bye.
next
Thanks
year.
for having
Bye.
me.
Thank you all. Mwah.